over here, me right here, Jen right here.
All right, Pokey.
You gotta knight us. What am I in your world? Or not your world, that's the extreme. In your castle.
You're Jester Jen.
Jester Jen! I like it. Is the Jester the little entertainer though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how good I'd be at that. You should have seen me at Bubba Gums. Didn't work out very well.
I could see you doing it.
No, but you knew how to get people in order.
Yes, I did.
I think it's the jester on Gallivant where he's all excited at one point because he's the jester for like a kid king, essentially. And all he's doing is making like fart noises and like he's just making weird little faces and the kid's loving it. And he's like, this is the easiest job I've ever had. But on that note, welcome to GoodFlickas, home of the GoodFlickas. Can you take our critiques? We are talking about the Haunted Mansion tonight, which is going to be very exciting to round out our ominous October. But I am, of course, Matt, joined tonight with Brian.
I'll be your host. Your ghost host.
I'm so excited for all of the Haunted Mansion stuff. I really can't wait to get into it. Well done.
Oh, additionally, I have had such a lovely day so far. It is Halloween 2023.
Yes. Happy
And, started off with a workout because you got to stay fit, people. But then Hocus Pocus 2, The Haunted Mansion. What a day.
My goodness.
I am such in a Halloween mood. You don't even believe it.
a triple feature. I'm impressed and very jealous.
Yeah.
Oh, but so earlier when you said you didn't have time to get in your Halloween costume, you decided to watch Halloween movies instead.
Well, I'm also not going to get in a Halloween costume when it's just me and my cats. People might think that's a little strange.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm myself today.
Well, I will get to that, but joining us as well is Jen, who I believe does have food, but I'm looking at a small window right now, so I can't tell.
No, we annihilated this dish.
All right, so we move on.
It was delicious though.
Nice. I'm sure we'll get some more info on that when we hit our food segment in part 2. Our cooking segment, I should say. But joining us as well is the bearded badass King Nicholas himself, Nick.
King Klaus.
Klaus. King Klaus. Forgive me, Your Highness.
To the dungeon.
Hail for the king.
Go to the chief, baby.
The king wants kale. I heard it.
Yeah.
Yes, I want the kale and then throw it in the trash.
Give him what he wants.
Kale can be very good. You just have to prep it right.
Oh, hell yeah, I can.
But
Olive
Nick,
oil and salt, baby.
yeah, there you go.
And then-
So simple and basic.
So Italian.
It's so simple though. But Nick, thank you for dressing up for Halloween. And rightfully you should, since you're going to be leaving us early to go to a haunted house, which I can respect.
I mean, he's going to his own haunted mansion. Why not?
That's true. That's true. But while we've got you in costume and everything, I believe this was your pick. So let us know. Why did you pick the Haunted Mansion to round out our ominous October on this Halloween?
So I picked this movie because a few weeks ago, we talked about the Monster Mash and how I had never heard of it or seen it before. And you guys had mentioned that that the song is played in this movie, in the Haunted Mansion.
No, we thought it was, but
Thought it was. I think we
weren't entirely sure.
I think we looked it up, and it's in a lot less movies than we thought.
So you're right on my point there because I didn't hear the song.
It wasn't.
Well, there you go. You wouldn't have.
It did not play.
It did not play. So you guys are just reiterating my point here.
Well,
but yeah, so I picked it just because, well, for that, but also the other reason too was, the last week's movie was really a hard hitter. And I'm sad I missed the talk, but I'm looking forward to actually hearing it, once I edited it together. But I wanted something to kind of bring us back up into a lighter, a little bit more fun, positive mood after last week's movie. I just thought it was a good way to end it for Halloween. So
yeah, I gotta say, like, as far as us doing this chat on Halloween, which, by the way, thank you guys for delaying a day, and thank you guys for all of this, and Nick, thank you for sticking it out before your haunted house. But yeah, this is an excellent pick for rounding out Ominous October. Perfect pick, I would say. A perfect pick, not the perfect pick.
Yeah, it was hard to find an Arnold like scary movie, so I had to put him aside for just a month.
Oh God, I was thinking about that. If you pulled a freaking Arnold Halloween movie on your ass, oh my God!
I probably could have found something, but I wanted Haunted Mansion.
I think Eraser would have been a good one for Ominous.
Well, I mean, damn near anything really. He's a freaking action spy guy. Like,
yeah,
we could find Ominous.
Yeah.
It's next No Theme November.
Yes, I love that.
I like it. No Theme November.
No Theme November until were we doing Disney December?
No one's really.
We haven't
That
talked.
conversation like came and went and died real quick. So
can we just do it like
Christmas movies?
Like the week before the next month, like today's the last day of October. Can we just decide like the week before, like what the next month is?
If we're gonna do it or not?
Yeah.
I
think trying to plan it out for a whole year is like doing too much.
Yeah, that works.
But like Jen coming up with No Theme November, like that's perfect on the spot,
Good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then December is Christmas December.
Back to Halls December.
Yeah, that's a little better, I guess.
Sweet. Well, that's something to look forward to in a month, everyone. But did we have anybody want to give initial thoughts and scores for this movie?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So, The Haunted Mansion. The only thing that I know of this is the ride at Disneyland, and I always get stuck on it. So, good times.
Are these walls actually stretching?
Have you gotten stuck in the part where you're backwards and like falling?
Yeah, I get stuck in the ballroom dance every single time.
Yeah.
And that's right when there you go. I'm like, it's about that time. Right on cue. But yeah, so I've seen this movie, but never in its entirety. So it was nice to watch it all the way through and make sense of it. And I thought it was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. There were some things that kind of weirded me out, but that's fine. That's to be expected. That's the fun of the Halloween season. So, but I laughed out loud a lot. It was really good. It was a good time. And I would give it, I have no clue. Why did I go first? I'm gonna, you know what? I really enjoyed it. Let's do it. We'll go 10 out of 10.
Ooh, all right. She's going hard. Nice. Okay, I can go next. So Jen, you mentioned like this is it's based off of the ride at Disneyland, and I will say that the Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride at Disneyland. Like it is, that's the one that I always look forward to going on. It's the most fun, and yes, you get stuck constantly because the people movers, like I mean, somebody falls or. I like this where it's a ride that even people who have like disabilities or like handicapped are able to get onto it. And of course, to do that, they typically have to stop it.
Have you seen the Haunted Mansion during this time of the year?
Once, and it's amazing. We'll get into that.
Incredible.
Love it. I love it so much. So this is my favorite ride from Disneyland. And when this movie came out, I was so excited about it and I enjoyed it. I own this movie. I've seen this movie. This is one of my favorite like fun time Halloween movies because it's just it's silly, it's fun, it's got its little spooky bits, but it's not too heavy. And it's a fun one. There's a lot of history to that's going to get like facts that I'm sure Brian has cooked up for us, so that I'm looking forward to hearing about this. But I've always enjoyed this movie. It doesn't always get the best reception from people, but I think it is a lot of fun. And the fact that the I'll call it the reboot was released this year, which I've seen as well. Completely different style, completely different take, and like it's a totally different movie, but also very good and still based on the ride. What I loved about this one though is how many like nods there are. There's so many little references, and it's not always exactly how you'd expect it to be. So it keeps it fun with a story that's pretty simple, to be honest, but it's a fun little haunting. So yeah, I really enjoy this movie. It makes me laugh every time. Watching it this time, I was catching some stuff that I just never paid attention to before. One of the key things that I noticed, this is a random little thing, but Michael, his full name is Michael Jordan Evers. And I had never caught that his middle name was Jordan, so they named him after Michael Jordan. When he calls up to Michael Jordan Evers, and then even in his room, he's got like a street sign or a license plate or something that says Michael Jordan Evers. I'm like, that's fun. Like that's a little detail I'd never noticed before. That's just cute and fun. So yes, I like this movie. It's a lot of fun. It's a great one to kind of go back and revisit, and it's just enjoyable. I think you can really have fun with this one. You don't have to take it too seriously. And my God, the big names that are in this, so many recognizable faces, so many. I gotta drop his name because he's shown up in 2 out of our 4 ominous movies. But freaking Terrence Stamp, this guy is just the epitome of ominous. Like he's in so much stuff, and he's great at being kind of like this creepy dude. But he's amazing. Absolutely loved him. Lots to talk about the actors and everything in this. So lots of fun. Can't wait to go dive more into it. But as a score, I gave this a 4.1. It's really good, but it's certainly not it's not the greatest film. It's got its flaws, but worth owning, worth rewatching.
All right. So The Haunted Mansion, definitely a movie that I've seen multiple times, and kind of like what you guys are saying, it's a fun little enjoyable movie. I've always wanted more out of it than what was delivered. I just felt like I feel like Eddie Murphy holds back a little bit. If you're familiar with some of his films, you can always count on him for just being hilarious improv, and the man knows how to cook pretty much. And I just feel like he's kind of like too reserved on this one, and I think they could have let him cook a little bit more harder than he did. The decor and everything on this movie, like the sets and it's just banging. I mean, what a cool looking mansion. And I feel like the looks of it really help save the score for me. Overall, though, like I said, it's a fun one. We're gonna have lots to talk about here. I just wish we got a little bit more out of it than we're actually given, and I gave this one a 3.8 out of 5.
3.8. What?
3.8.
Oh, just saw. I think you said 8.
No.
Did you want it? 3.8?
I'm actually really happy with these scores. It seems like it's really on par with kind of my thoughts initially too. So The Haunted Mansion, this was my pick. Shocker, first time watching it. and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a good fun like Haunted Mansion, just mansion movie in general. It's a fun mansion movie. And I'm a little bit with you, Brian. The pits and peaks of this movie. The pit for me is I feel like the characters needed a little bit more personality. And like you were kind of saying that with Eddie Murphy's character, like he could have done a little bit more, he did tone it down, I feel like, compared to other movies as well. But even like the rest of the family, like those actors, even some of the actors inside of the mansion. Like I just felt like they needed a little bit more oomph, a little bit more polish, a little bit more like upbeat, energy to them. Because they have a really good foundation as characters. I just wish that they were a little bit more energetic. But what does save it for me, like you said too, is the production is incredible. The sets are amazing. They're beautiful to look at. They look very realistic, and not like it is in a studio, even though it isn't in a studio. And like it's for a movie that's 20 years old now, like it looks really, really, really good. But again, I just wish that there was a little bit more personality in the characters in this film. Brian, did you want to say something now, or?
Yeah, it's just what you were. So I agree and disagree kind of at the same time with you, because one thing that also really won me on the movie is the difference of liveliness, I think is the best way to put it, between Eddie Murphy and his family versus, say, Ramsey or Gracie. They seemed, the way that the actors were, Stamp and I forgot the actor, we'll go into that later, but the way that they were doing those roles, where I think they nailed it. I'm like, okay, so this is you clearly have mastered what it would be to be like in transition of life and afterlife. And you're clearly in like the waiting room, and I can see it. Like, you have no warm personality. You're very like, follow me type. And I was like, God, they're crushing it on that. And I really loved it. The for me, like, the lack of it was mostly coming from Eddie Murphy. You've got Eddie Murphy in a haunted mansion. I want to see him just full unleash Eddie Murphy. I want to see him start making fun of everything, crack jokes, go wild, go improv. And I just feel he had too much of a Disney chokehold on him, that maybe they just didn't let him cook the way he can cook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I mean, the villain, like, he does an excellent job. Like, he was great. He played that role really well.
Yeah.
So it's not like everybody, but it's just like I feel like a lot of the actors and characters could have brought just a little bit more life to them.
I agree.
But they're ghosts.
What was that?
He's not talking about that.
I said, but they're ghosts. They're not supposed to be alive.
You just have to commit to whatever role it is. But yeah, so like, with all that said, I gave this movie a flat 4 out of 5.
Wow, right on.
All right.
Gave the best score.
Well, yeah, Matt, Nick, and I are just kind of, ballroom dancing with each other. Meanwhile, Jen's apparently the DJ.
Yeah. She's got the high ground.
Yeah, she's definitely got the high ground.
Yeah.
It's because she's stuck on the people mover.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll transition.
Yeah, and if we're ready for fun facts, do you have a song for us this week?
I do have one.
Ooh.
The long-awaited fun facts rap has returned.
Nick's spooky slap.
Oh, last week, I'll tell you that.
I know we haven't had it for the last 2 weeks.
I brought up again that you need to give us just a generic fun facts rap, so whenever you're gone, we can just play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think last week we ended up doing fun facts, like the OG song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, it didn't even cross my mind who took over.
We didn't.
Well, I'm back. All right, here we go. We got a film called The Haunted Mansion. Brian's got fun facts and he's handsome. Matt will go to jail for committing ransom. Jen cooking food like she's from France. I didn't have a rhyme for that. Brian's got the fun facts for a movie where the daughter's not a scaredy cat, with the brother who's afraid of bats. Eddie Murphy and his family trying to sell a house that is spooky, filled with zombies and enemies, and there's an ending.
And there's an end. I've given it to you. Oh man! And there's an ending. I like it. Well done. It's good to have you back.
I know. I just love when Nick has like just total cop outs where it's like his go-tos. He's like, I don't got a rap for that or a rhyme for that. I'm just gonna call myself out right here.
Yeah.
I did like his the girl who's not a scaredy cat into a son who's afraid of bats. Like he's afraid of spiders. I don't think he has. Is there even a bat in this movie?
Oh, there's got to be one.
There was the crows.
The crow, yeah.
Oh.
That's all good.
Well, no, I mean, spider wouldn't have worked as a rhyme.
Yeah,
That's why I'm with you, man. It
you
works.
just gotta go with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe he's afraid of a spider holding a bat.
Spider bat.
Or
learning
a bat holding a spider.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It wouldn't hold a spider. It'd eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well done. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
literally
right,
wrote
so-
that 2 minutes before I signed on.
Well done.
Man, you're right. I don't know how you do it so quickly. That's not.
That's why I
good.
was like 9 minutes late because I was like, oh shit.
You're good, man.
All right. So the Haunted Mansion comes out 2003. So we're looking at a 20-year anniversary. I believe last week was a 10-year anniversary. So apparently we're just rocking anniversaries right now on GoodFlickas.
Yeah.
All right. Directed by Rob Minkoff. Sound familiar to anyone?
Yes,
Yeah.
but I don't know why.
What?
Did yes, but I don't know why.
Because he directed The Lion King and Stuart Little.
That's not it.
Also, though, and this is, I guess, kind of going from this, like, if you're the director of The Lion King, this makes me want more out of the Haunted Mansion just instantly. It's kind of like, did you just took your foot off the gas a little bit on this one? So, and then we've gone over his work. I think we went over his works when we did The Lion King, so nothing's really changed here. But just nice Disney guy. What else to say? Go ahead, Matt.
Because I did look up his credits. He doesn't have a ton of directing credits, but he did do the Roger Rabbit animated shorts that were So like those are that's probably what I really remember him from. Those are such fun things.
There's probably a chance that we talked about that on the Lion King one as well.
Guaranteed.
All right, going into the cat. Oh, so I forgot to mention, Haunted Mansion currently streaming right now, Halloween 2023 on Disney Plus. Not really sure. I mean, I don't know if Disney tends to take things away. I don't think they do. I think it's just like there to stay. So you can catch it pretty much whenever you can.
We're still waiting for Under Wraps, Disney.
Yeah, still waiting for the OG Under Wraps. It kills me that I keep seeing this remake, and I'm like, but you won't put the
OG is
unlock the vault, motherfuckers. Like, come on.
Got a sequel before they put the new one, the original up. Like, ew.
like, what the heck?
Go ahead, Matt.
I didn't know if you were going to mention the writer at all before you got to your actors.
Oh, go for it.
Just because this is some fun stuff. So the writer was David Berenbaum, and his first writing credit you might know is a little holiday film known as Elf, which he followed up with the Haunted Mansion. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's actually a fun one that I enjoy, but Zoom with Tim Allen.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's a fun one. It's not great, but like he's a superhero with powers, and there's a whole thing. I won't go into it, but he's also written.
Oh, I remember. I definitely haven't seen it, but I remember what you're talking about.
It's not a terribly memorable movie, but it's just a fun one that I enjoy, but I don't think many people really loved it. But he also wrote the Spiderwick Chronicles. And I'm not familiar with Strange Magic. That one came out in 2015. Oh no. And in production, Frosty the Snowman. So he's working on some other stuff. He's got another Bugs Bunny thing too. So he doesn't have a ton of writing credits, but I did want to shout out really highlight Elf. Like the strong start to your
start. That's a hell of a writer debut.
Yeah. But I will say I can kind of see his style it's definitely that childlike like on the edge of like teenage adult comedy, but keeping it a little silly.
No, it definitely keeps it in the family camp.
Yes. Yeah.
He likes the family movies.
Yeah. He must have a Disney deal.
And I mean, we didn't say this I don't think any of us said this at the top, but Haunted Mansion, great family Halloween movie. Yeah. October, it's just perfect for the family. You want to do like a Saturday movie night with the family in the month of October. Haunted Mansion, you won't go wrong with. Eddie Murphy obviously is going to be our star, playing as Jim Evers. Marsha Thompson is Sarah Evers. Go ahead, Matt.
Oh no, I was going. Well.
Oh, he's raising the roof like we're in the 90s. Got it.
Just shout out to Marsha.
We already kind of gave him a highlight already, but Terrence Stamp, just notorious for creepy roles. I mean, we just a couple weeks ago we did the Adjustment Bureau, and he practically was playing the same damn thing, just not wearing a fedora.
This poor man is typecast. It's bullshit.
Oh, big time. And like I said, I think I even brought it up in the Adjustment Bureau, but even in Liar Liar, or no, I'm sorry, not Liar Liar, Yes Man, he's over here just, doing his little seminar in front of everyone and just weirding everyone out. Like, it's his thing.
I do love the moment when he's calling out Jim Carrey and he's just like, the whole yes man, no man bit. But every time he asks him a question, he like kind of bunks him with the mic.
Yeah, with the mic.
It's just a funny little thing of like making him more uncomfortable. So like, oh, I love Terrence. He's good.
What you got, Nick?
So I'm looking up Terrence Stamp, and so this movie was 20 years ago. And right now he's 85, so he was 65 when he did this movie. And I'm looking at pictures of him right now. He looks exactly the same.
I know.
Like in 20 years,
I know.
He almost looks a little better.
The dude just does. It's like Morgan Freeman.
Yes, crazy.
Well, it's like
you're watching a movie like, what year was this? Oh, this was 40 years ago. Oh, just checks out.
Yeah.
It's like Maggie Smith in Hook when she's playing Wendy, and they aged her up by like 30 years, and like she still looked good, but they made her look really old. And you look at her now, and it's like, damn, like one, they did a pretty good job of like really aging her up, but I think she's close to the age she was supposed to be in that movie, and she looks better. Like she looks great. Like she has not really aged. She looks fantastic. So good for these guys.
Yeah. And then the last two I'll mention, Matt, the actor of Master Gracie is going to be Nathaniel Parker, who may have looked familiar if you just watched one more recent movie called The Last Duel.
Oh, he's in that?
He was as Sir Robert. And then finally, Jennifer Tilly, who is Madame Leota. Obviously the voice is probably what really, like, you recognize her through her voice, but some of the ones that I definitely can go off top of my head is Liar Liar. She is the one that is being sued against in that horror deal, but also the voice of Bonnie in Family Guy. But she, she's had quite the career for herself, and like I said, she has such a unique voice, and again, I think perfectly cast for a Madame Leota character, with the voice that she has and everything. I'm like, oh, this works really well.
Yeah, just to keep it on her real fast. Another great pick for her for Ominous October would be any of the Chucky movies after Child's Play, because she is the bride of Chucky.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But also to go a little bit more on Master Gracie. Just because it's a movie, I think you missed it, Brian, but it is a movie that we did in Movie Club. He is in Stardust. He is
okay.
He is the main character's father. So he's not in it a ton, but he's one of the more prominent characters in the movie, at least. So, yeah.
All right. All right, but yeah, so that's where we're at on that.
Oh my God. Sorry. I just kept going through his credits. He's the bad guy in Beverly Hills Ninja.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he's Stanley. That's so funny. Sorry. I'm done. Go.
No, you're fine. So we're going to go into the reviews. GoodFlickas, we're going to give this one a 4.23. Okay. Letterbox is giving it a 2.7 out of 5.
Yeesh, God.
IMDb a 5.2 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of hate towards this one for some reason.
I don't get it either.
Mr. Roger Ebert himself gives it a 2.5 out of 4 stars. I really liked the intro to his review, and I'm going to read it to the masses here. The surprising thing about the Haunted Mansion isn't that it's based on a Disney theme park ride, but that it has ambition. It wants to be more than a movie version of the ride. I expected an inane series of nonstop action sequences, but what I got was a fairly intriguing story and an actual plot that is actually resolved. That doesn't make the movie good enough to recommend, but it makes it better than the ads suggest.
Interesting.
That's how he opens his review.
Some harsh honesty, but fair.
It's Roger Ebert.
If this movie is not the ride, I don't want it. It's basically what he's saying.
What?
First.
Was that Jen?
Go ahead, Matt.
Well, okay. To go with like his review and everything, that seems to be the big draw for why everybody was so up in arms about this. Like why people are so harsh is like everybody wanted something different from this, where it's like it needs to be truer to the ride. It needs to be truer to the story. It should be more different. It should be more unique. It seemed like no matter what they actually did, they couldn't have pleased the fans of the ride.
Well, save that, because there's a really interesting fact that just basically should shut up everybody, which is really funny to me.
No, I know there's information about all that, but like that's what kills me is like just because we've got the reviews, right? We know what people have scored this thing. That's the stuff that really confuses me. I'm like, this is not that bad. This is not that bad of a movie.
It's not an F movie, which is basically what the masses are. The social media social media trolls of our world are giving right now.
True.
What you got, Jen?
I just wanted to fight for the ride for a second, because as I was watching this movie, I was like, I feel like I'm literally like in the chair right now going through the ride. Like I think they nailed it. So screw everybody. That's all.
Like a virtual ride, like the movie's just playing. Like it's like a 2-hour ride.
Ride.
Yeah. An hour and a half ride.
I think they should make the ride an hour and a half long.
Yeah. Imagine all the times you get stuck on it. It would be like 2 hours.
I'm fine with that.
All right. So budget was 90 million and worldwide gross is 182.2 million.
Okay.
So, coming back, we'll double the budget.
With that.
We're not going to talk about any awards here. No Oscars or Golden Globes to be recognized.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the big one. So the movie's plot was inspired by Phantom Manor, which is in Disneyland Paris. And it's about a story. It's basically about the story of the the whole story that we got. The wife that quote unquote went suicide, blah blah blah. Oh, the Haunted Mansion, right? However, the movie itself, the Haunted Mansion, the only actual name, the Haunted Mansion, there's only one of them that's named that, and it's in Disneyland in California. So it's weird that people are like saying, well, this is nothing like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, number one, you're taking a ride, you're taking a Paris theme, and then you're taking the, I guess like the aesthetics of a Disneyland ride, and you're combining it into one movie. And I'm just like, well, everyone just needs to calm down. Like, it's not going to be perfect on either ends. And this is what they got. So I just thought that was really interesting. With that, there are several references to Disneyland's Haunted Mansion that are seen. I didn't write them all down because I thought it'd be kind of fun if we all just did a what did we all notice from the ride compared to the movie?
Oh,
Oh, so many
It
things.
could be it could be like a rapid fire. Like for I definitely the hitchhikers.
the hitchhikers. Actually, the raven on top of the mirror.
Yup.
The
Madame Leota.
adding Leota and the floating instruments. The door.
The singing tombs. Or
The sing-
bus. I'm sorry,
Bus,
singing
yeah.
bus.
Well, and also the bus that watch you.
Yep. Yes.
The cemetery, like the dead people in the cemetery.
Yep. The ballroom.
Ballroom.
ball.
Like the actual ballroom
No.
dancing.
Yes. There's the duelists, the two guys that I think they shoot each other's hats off or something, but the duelists.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's the paintings as Jim was walking by them would change from like normal painting to demented painting.
Yep.
God, there's so many.
The mirror, like we become dead in the ride.
Yes. So the actual look in it too. Yeah.
Oh, because that's at the end where they're like, "Oh, did you know that every ghost, comes to travel with you as a passenger or something like that?"
Ghosts.
Yeah. And then, was there any stretching photos or anything like that, like in the beginning?
I don't think so, but they did have Gracie hanging himself in the opening credits.
I was gonna say the exactly.
And I want to say that the wedding dress in the attic as well is a reference to the bride who, when you go through the ride in the attic, the bride who is cutting the heads off of her husbands.
Yeah, because there's that whole wedding scenario that's in the ride. If I remember, it's been a while since I've been on it.
Well, it's just the bride. Like she has like her axe, and I think she's actually the one that like greets you at the end of the ride, where it's like, "Hurry back!
Oh yeah,
hurry back!
Come back!"
So, oh my God, there's so many more. Let's.
All right. Well, speaking of the singing bus, the quartet.
Bum, 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 bum. Yes.
Actually came from Disneyland. I believe California Disneyland. Do you know who they are?
Oh, like the name?
The name, and if you've been to Disneyland, you definitely have seen them around.
Yeah.
And if you see Modern Family, you've definitely seen them around.
Getting what's his face? Yes, I do know.
Dylan.
Yes, Dylan. I do know. I remember what they're called.
The Dapper Dans.
Yes.
So the sing, and I did not know this until today, but the singing bus are actually the Dapper Dans from Disneyland.
Yeah, they're so good. Sorry, I'm remembering this scene now as they don't stop singing, and it's like, shut the fuck.
They have like a just permanent jukebox. Like they have a song for every question. That's not helpful at all, but we'll talk about that later.
They were fun.
I'm not
Yale
too sure
Gracie.
why, but like I was the first thing that popped in my head was the barbershop quartet scene in Friends when Ross sends that quartet to Rachel's office. Like that was what popped in my head for some reason.
Yeah.
I guess that's not them though. So
No.
The one and only, the good friend Ross.
It's nice to have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Although I like the end when they show up for Monica calling out Don Juan at the restaurant. It's like, you are just a butt munch. That whole
a butt munch.
Oh, you know what? While we're already talking about Friends, we might as well acknowledge sincere condolences to the Friends casts and everyone that the whole world was touched by the TV series Friends, and we're all hoping that Matthew Perry is resting peacefully. And man, what so much talent gone way too soon. So I just wanted to. We're talking about it. Might as well drop it now.
Whoa.
Real? That was real?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know any. Matthew Perry died?
Yeah. Matthew Perry has died.
It was
What?
2 days ago.
What?
Mhm.
He drowned.
He drowned in a hot tub.
Yeah, it's
In
real
a hot tub?
Mm-hmm.
How?
Oh, I didn't know any of this.
You didn't know. Well, you do now. Have fun at your
my
party.
God.
How do you drown in a hot tub? Did you fall?
There could be other reasons, but I'm not going to say anything, especially because we're recording and I don't know any facts at all.
Yeah.
Oh my, I've been watching Friends like in the background for like the last several days, like just binging it in the background. I had no idea.
Yeah, well, we'll always have friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sad.
I never take those things seriously because, you know, like so many people die way before they actually die.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
we
was
don't
like,
even know if Tupac's still alive.
yeah.
Just kidding.
He is.
All right. Moving forward, continuing here. Yale Gracie is an original Imagineer of the Haunted Mansion ride. Hence the homage that they called him Gracie and Gracie's Manor.
Yeah.
Gracie Mansion is located in the Bayou of Louisiana.
Wait, great. Isn't that Elvis Presley's house name?
No, that's Graceland.
Yeah, great.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then, of course, well, not everyone knows, but I'm sure anyone that's been to Disneyland knows that you will find the Haunted Mansion ride in New Orleans Square.
Yay!
Which is like just what a perfect location for it.
So that was I know I'm hopping into the movie a little bit, but that was something I did notice on this one where like when the Evers ride up to it, they have Louisiana license plates, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it really is like,
yeah, they're keeping it legit.
Yeah, because I don't think they ever really address it like out loud of where they are, but like that's a clear reference.
Well, also in New Orleans, isn't there a place called like the French Quarters too?
Yes.
Okay, so there you go, Paris, you know, because you were saying France or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Does that count?
Sure. I did not notice this, but here's a did you notice? There are hidden Mickeys, and it's during the instrument chase scene, the windows on the doors all become Mickey Mouse shape.
Did not notice
Yeah.
that.
Did not notice it either.
What becomes Mickey Mouse shape?
The windows on the doors.
Ah.
Yeah. All right. I've saved this for last because I figured this is probably going to bring up a conversation. The Haunted Mansion was greenlit in the mid 80s.
Wow, really? Okay.
With a couple of demands.
Okay.
And as we're all movie fans here, so what I'm about to say is gonna be like, oh, okay. Here are the demands. Either Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, or Rick Moranis would have to star in it.
So it has to be a Ghostbuster.
Pretty much, because I mean,
Why
Ghostbusters was what, 83?
Rude.
I think Ghostbusters was like 83, 84. It was a just blockbuster phenomenon. And all of a sudden they're like, great, if Ghostbusters works, let's do Haunted Mansion. But we need to have one of the Ghostbusters or all the, one. As long as we get one, then we're good. Obviously, this movie came out in 2003. So there must have been, I don't know, 20 years of arguing. I don't know what happened here. But what I wanted to talk about is what would a mid-80s possibly Ghostbuster cast Haunted Mansion look like? I mean, I'm kind of digging it. I'm all about that idea. It sounded very exciting to me. Go ahead, Matt.
So of that list, the one I would be most excited and can like see kind of filling into this story as is, although it's clearly written much later, Rick Moranis. I love Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
He's so great at kind of being like silly and fun, but he can be serious. Like he's an incredible actor.
Right.
And it's around this time too, so in like 80s, where he's doing Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So he's he works with Disney. He's
on SNL too, isn't he? At this time,
is Rick Moranis on SNL?
I think he was.
I know he was in Spaceballs.
He was doing.
Let me check.
I don't remember him ever being like on the SNL cast, but I could be totally wrong, because I think at that time he was doing whatever the Canadian show was, because I remember him doing Bob and Doug McKenzie. So he's doing stuff, but so yes, he's probably the most excited one that I would want to see there, like, because he's freaking great. He's done Little Shop of Horrors, so he can do the spooky kind of stuff. Ghostbusters, where like he's in that genre, but he's not intimidating or scary or anything. Like he's nothing. He's the scary.
Maybe not. I think he just hosted.
He might have. Like look up oh God, I can't remember. It might just be called The Great White North, but I don't know. Because he was on a Canadian skit show that was like similar to SNL, but it was like essentially just Canadian version. Although that probably doesn't seem fair. Either way. So yeah, I would love to see Rick Moranis. I don't know any other cast that like I would be really excited to see, like off the top of my head. Maybe some of the kids from the Goonies as like his kids. So like maybe one of the Coreys, like Corey Haim or Corey Feldman, would be kind of fun. But they might be a little old. Maybe Sean Astin from Goonies. Sean Astin? I think that's right. I don't know. Yeah, I do think that the story would be completely different. I think it would be a lot darker. I don't think Rick Moranis would be a real estate agent. So that's probably like the biggest change is how would they get to the house, or why would they get to the house? I
would have been a little curious as Bill Murray.
I
like Bill Murray.
See, as much as I love Bill Murray, my problem with Bill Murray is you always get Bill Murray. He can put on a different face. He could but you're always gonna get Bill Murray being Bill Murray, because that's what you pay for. Is like that's what you want. Also, he was in Little Shop of Horrors as well, with Rick Moranis. So I don't know. I can see it. I think he'd be fun, but I don't particularly want Bill Murray. Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, like I think they'd be fine, but they're also just like, to me, as far as Ghostbusters, like you guys are like the nerds of the group. Like you bring the science and the validity of that. Yeah. But as far as like personality and everything, you guys are a little bit bland. But Harold Ramis,
like, no disrespect to by all means to Bill Pullman, but Harold Ramis would have been great in Casper.
See it?
Yeah.
See it?
Like just that nerdiness. It also was like a ghost carryover, but anyway.
Well, Dan Aykroyd was in that one.
Yeah.
As a Ghostbuster.
But anyway, I just thought that I had no idea about that. I had no idea that it was greenlit in the 80s and it was basically going after the Ghostbuster cast to just kind of carry it over.
Yeah, and that's probably the most interesting thing too. Like you said, it's greenlit in the 80s. I would bet that if that did they have other demands besides like it has to have.
That's the only one that I was able to figure out. But I just don't know where it fell through the cracks and why it took 20 years to finally get created, where we're not even talking the same cast at all at this point. So
I wonder if it would be like Disney in the 80s, so if it was that like any of those cast members, because I just don't see them being Disney material.
No, I agree. And
I feel like
it probably wasn't Disney that greenlit it, but I don't know.
I felt like if it was that, they would have roughed up the movie a bit, because that's just them, you know?
Yeah. Although, I mean, Disney in the 80s was that kind of thing. I mean, we look back at the 90s, right? And we're like, oh damn, that's a little bit racy for your kids' movies.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We're even more so. So I could see them getting away with it and doing it, but I would bet like the hardest part was one, coming up with a story that any of those guys were going to be like, yes, I'm in. Like because I mean, freaking Bill Murray, I don't think he stopped working through the 80s.
No.
He
was one of the biggest stars on screen back then.
Well, see, now I really am curious about when Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Ironically, Eddie Murphy was too, actually, come to think about it.
Yeah, but he wasn't really kid friendly at that point.
No, he was like what, around then, Coming to America.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the I can't remember, the Golden Child? Like, I mean, he's
yes, yeah, he hasn't touched into Nutty Professor or
well, Nutty Professor is not for kids.
Yeah. Or Dr. Dolittle.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll give you that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I looked up so Honey, I Shrunk the Kids came out in 1989.
Oh, wow, it was in 80s.
89, right on the end. But I would think that like if anybody had made a deal with like, okay, Disney, I'll sign on to do your Haunted Mansion movie, and it just like it's greenlit, but they can't lock down a script, or they can't get for whatever reason they can't get it going. It's like, okay, can't do the Haunted Mansion. Sure, I'll do Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and boom, that series blew up.
Yeah, huge.
It got, I think, at least 3 movies, but I think it's
you had Honey, I Shrunk the Kids,
Honey, I Blew Up the Baby,
Honey, I Blew Up
We Shrunk Ourselves.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know why I feel like there was another one, but they at least, it even got I'll call it a show at Disneyland. I remembered going on it. I think they even had it at Disney World, where it's Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. And you'd go in there. It was a 4D ride, and he's like prepping his new machine, his new shrink.
I remember that.
Or Smithsonian or something.
I remember that. Yep.
Drinks you. And that was so much fun. Like that was a blast. I mean, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids freaking blew up for Disney.
Yeah, it was huge.
So yeah, I could guess that that's a situation that kind of happened where they at least got someone, Rick Moranis, to sign on for something, and that's what it ended up turning into.
Yeah.
God, what a great movie too.
We gotta do that one.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
So long.
Yeah, same. That's like a childhood movie to me.
If I had to pick the scene, it's the ant, because that's what I think of now. The ant.
Yeah. Oh God, and I can't remember. Does he call him Anthony or Antony? Like he calls him Ant something. Like
I don't know.
Kid. Oh,
man,
that's
they had great ones. They had that, and on Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, the daddy long leg that's like just carrying them up the counter. Oh, that series is.
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
The huge blast from the past for me in that movie is seeing Mila Kunis in it.
Right.
I remember the first time I watched that movie after however long and being like, oh shit, that's Mila Kunis.
Yep.
Like, it's unmistakable. That is her. And I want to say that it's not too far before she does Bad 70s Show. Like, I don't think there's much of a gap.
Chew, Jim. Chew, Jim. Pieces of banana.
Oh, God. Got a potassium deficiency.
Got a potassium.
Bananas.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I got avocado.
The other one is, I don't know why I have so many visual memories of this one, but it's when one of the fathers is hanging on the speaker. You kids are dead.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can't remember his name, but yes, it's Wayne's brother, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh God.
And then when they actually cross the wires, this is the God speaking.
Oh yeah. How do you remember that? That's so crazy. Oh my gosh.
Character's name was.
I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, all of them are great. And then when they blow up the baby, it's all about them in Vegas.
Oh my God, chasing a
They're just, oh man, all of them. They're just, what a series.
Adam, right?
yes, because Adam is actually it's Bug Hall, I believe, plays Adam in Honey We Shrunk Ourselves. So
Yeah.
I just remember him wanting to go play the guitar.
Right? He rips the guitar.
Ow! And then he gets mad.
And then he breaks it. Yeah. Oh man.
They shoot the guitar and it shocks him or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my God, though.
We might have to do all of them, guys.
I know, we gotta find them. That'd be so fun. Wow, what a throwback that would be.
When the mom blows up, she's staring in the helicopter. Back off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
God, those are such good movies.
Maybe we got to do a Honey, I Shrunk the Month. Or we just do a whole month.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm checking right now.
Are they streaming?
Oh my God. All three of them on Disney.
What?
All three of them on Disney Plus.
Oh my God. Okay. November is shrunk in November.
Honey, I Shrunk November.
Oh, shrunk
We
in
should
November.
do it for February.
Why?
Because it's a short month.
Oh, I love it.
Wait, what?
Honey, I Shrunk February because,
Can we wait
because it's
that
a short
long?
month.
Is it 3 weeks?
It's at least 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so.
Oh, wait, no. Next year is a leap year, so it's a lot. It's a normal month.
I mean, it's only 29 days. It's still short.
That's true. Okay. That's true.
I didn't know it was a leap year. That's good to know.
Every 4 years.
All right. Well, obviously, though, that's now on our radar.
Yes.
Having too much fun talking about it just off memory. I can't imagine like actually watching it and taking notes.
Oh my gosh.
Like I saw the movie, I'm sure, when I was like 9 or something. And when you guys are talking about it, I'm like, none of it comes to mind.
So for some reason, the third one is what I remember the most. I can almost go like scene by scene on it type thing. The second one I'm kind of blurry, and the first one it's like I'm spotty. Where it's
Got
like,
it all. What do you need?
what?
And I got it all. What do you need?
I definitely remember the ants.
There's a scorpion that
There was a lawnmower incident, I think.
yes.
Right?
They about get sucked into it.
Oh, the scorpion versus the ant.
Yeah, it was devastating. So
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough scene.
yeah.
That is tough. That's okay.
How about we don't spoil it? No spoilers. I'm not talking about this
We're
movie.
killing our pod, guys.
Yeah. It's
We'll have nothing to talk about.
Back, talking about death. So Haunted Mansion,
Haunted Mansion.
999 dead people.
Are we done with fun facts?
No, I think that's all I came up with for you guys. There wasn't a lot of information on here, but I did what I could.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, so I think is the last fun fact for it. I think this was, I believe, the start of Disney's attempt to take rides and turn them into movies.
Okay.
What first?
What was that?
What came first?
This movie was the first one.
This movie came before the ride?
No.
No, ride.
The ride has existed.
Ride is OG. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's been around for a long time. But as far as like them making movies based off of their rides, it was this one followed by Pirates of the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember if because I had this conversation at work today where I think Tomorrowland might be the only other one that they've done that's based off of a ride.
No, there's one more.
Is it obvious? Oh,
yeah.
no. I remember. Jungle Cruise just came out.
Go.
That's right.
Yep.
And that was the other one. So Jungle Cruise, which was very successful. So they seem to be doing okay or finding what it is that works for their like, okay, let's take this ride and make it a movie.
And then I also love how they take movies and make it rides.
Yeah.
Like Indie.
Yeah.
And the Finding Nemo.
See, those are the ones that I really enjoy.
The Nemo used to be
It was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Also, the Incredicoaster, but I mean that was already the same ride before. They
To be honest, I've never been on the Finding Nemo ride. I just saw it.
I've never been on it. Every time like I've been in Disneyland and I bring it up, everybody's just either the line is like really long.
Actually, I don't know if I've been on it.
Well, most people get like really claustrophobic because it does like you're in essentially a submarine and it does submerge you.
Well, that's how it was on the other one when it was a yellow submarine.
Yeah, but I've never been on them. But then that's my point. It's like every time I've gone and like I bring up like let's go Finding Nemo, everybody's like, no, it's too tight, makes me claustrophobic. Blah. So
Dude,
it's like,
I'll ride Finding Nemo with you, bro. Don't worry.
yeah. I want to talk to Crush.
I
want to talk to my dude.
Righteous.
I want to talk to my dude turtle, bro.
Matt, you and I would just be quoting the damn movie while on the ride. It'd be so annoying.
Little kid sitting next to us, like, shut up. We know how the movie goes.
I want you both to like strap a GoPro to like the window of your ride and just like quote the movie as you're riding, like all like Pirates of the Caribbean, Finding Nemo, the Incredicoaster.
Oh, that'd be so good.
You know, it's funny you bring it because I forgot about this. Well, with Pirates of the Caribbean and change it, like so. You have the ride, you have the movie, and now the ride has the movie within it as
right.
Freaking Jack Sparrow is all over the place.
Right.
Yeah. Which, by the way, every time I go on that ride, I'm still hoping Johnny Depp shows up at one point. I'm like, it's him. Yeah. So like I'm dying for that opportunity, and I'm sure like it will never happen.
They just swap his like animatronic character out with the real one. You know,
I'd hope for Keira Knightley.
Ooh.
I want to eat at the restaurant.
The Blue Bayou?
The Blue Bayou?
It's so good.
Yeah. She's talking about the Blue Bayou.
Is that the Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Matt, we tried to go into that restaurant, but it was
too. They have the best chicken fried steak I've ever had in my life.
Okay. Yeah, normally you have to get reservations for that place like way out.
Yeah, because I remember the last time we were there, we were just standing outside on the bridge that like goes into the entrance of that restaurant, and we were talking for like 20 minutes of whether or not we could eat there.
Yeah.
Matt, I think when we go on the Finding Nemo ride, the minute we got on, we should just be like, Darla!
You peaked. I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, Darla! Just carry like empty bags of water. Okay. We're here for the ride, guys.
That, but put like a plastic toy fish in there.
Yeah.
Why are you sleeping?
Twisted.
But you gotta
finally get to talk to Crush, and we're just like, say hi to our fishy.
Yeah.
Why are you sleeping?
It's a fake retainer, braces, or whatever.
Oh, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Go to Disneyland, you
well,
guys.
we probably should have expected us to get derailed by Disneyland talks a couple times on this one, but all right.
That's all good.
We're gonna derail so many times that it's gonna be great.
I mean, do we want to ride out until Nick goes?
Well, do we want to do the scene and then break? Just our scene title drops?
Well, Nick, how much longer do we have you?
Let me see.
7 now.
Another 10, 15 minutes?
Then yeah,
15, 20 minutes.
We'll push through until we lose you, and then when you have to go, we'll take our break.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Sounds
works.
good. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So scene of the movie. I had forgotten to do this.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Well, I've been trying to do better about it because I normally when I write down my notes and stuff, I didn't write any notes tonight, I'll admit. But normally when we're doing that, like I try to like write down at least a quote that's like from a scene. I'm like, that's a good scene, and I remember that and coming up with a title when we get to it. But I didn't even think of a scene.
Mine is Fortune Spinner.
Good one.
So what I try to do for the scene is when I tell myself, what do I think of when I think of the Haunted Mansion? It's just to me, it's the first scene that pops into my head.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it might not be like the most epic or whatever scene, but it's just the first one that pops.
That's exactly what we were just talking about, the honeys, and that's exactly what it is. It's like, what scene was popping in your head when we were talking about them?
Yeah.
Now, when you're saying the first scene, do you mean like the intro with like the credits and everything, or like right after that?
No, he's saying the first scene that pops in his head.
When I think of the movie The Haunted Mansion,
it's like what is the scene that goes in his head first? Not the first scene.
Visually, what pops up first?
Oh, yes. yeah, same.
Yeah. So for me, my scene, I'm gonna call it Zomkies. or just just Zomkey, not plural, just Zomkey.
Boy, okay.
Well, that's plural really messed you up. So
no, it's not that.
I have two.
Yeah, see that's kind of my problem. Do you have one, Jen?
I have two.
What are they?
Can I say both?
Why not?
Well, just do one.
Well, okay, I need some more time.
Okay, I guess gosh, I'm trying to come up with a good name for it. No, that's not a fun title.
It doesn't have to be fun.
Okay, I got it. Do you want me to go back?
Yeah.
Okay. It's The Pit for You.
The Pit for You?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I think I know this one.
I'm gonna go with Grinning Graveyard.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Brian, what was yours?
Fortune Spinner.
Okay.
I
have an idea for all of yours, but it could be wrong.
Okay. Well, we got you for a little bit long. Let's go ahead and guess them.
Okay. Do we want to just go in order who said theirs first?
Well, you said you got some guesses. Go for it.
Brian, yours is when the crystal ball is in the car, like strapped into the car, and it's like spinning out of. Or no, sorry, it's after the car crash, and the ball is like spinning on the ground. No.
Wow, it's the first time we see Leota.
There's the floating table.
Yes.
Okay.
Floating table.
It's the first time we see Leota.
Okay.
Nick, what zonkies? What?
Zomkey.
It's when they're battling the skeleton people trying to get to the key they need. So they're in the crypt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, specifically when the daughter is diving in that disgusting ass water.
Yeah.
And the particular moment is when she sees the key underwater and she goes to grab it, and that skeleton zombie, whatever, just comes out of like the depths. Like that truly scared the shit out of me. Like that was like an actual horror movie scare. And
I called that one the key to sleepwalking.
The key to sleepwalking.
Okay.
He screams, "Go back to bed!" Like that's the first thing he says.
Yeah.
I mean, why don't we just talk about this scene now? It's Nick's scene before he goes.
I'm fine with that.
Sure. Yeah, this scene is like one of those ones where I wish there was more action like this, like kind of like what Ebert was saying in like the movie should be like The Ride or something. This scene was great in terms of the tension of the moment that Eddie Murphy's character drops that key like through the little sliver in the ground. it just makes me think of when people drop their iPhone like in sewer things.
Right.
Like it made me think of that, and I was like, this key was their one solution to get out, and they've lost it. But the skeletons and the set and the suspense of trying to get away from these, I'm going to call them zombie skeletons, was so good, and just the way that they filmed it, and just how scared the characters were, except for the daughter. She was like, I'm just going to jump right into that water. Like, she has no hesitation. Like, she is not scared of anything. And I'm like, this water is disgusting. Like, what are you doing going in there? She gets in it, and then she has the audacity to put her head and go underneath. I was like, I could fucking never.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's
hard
just
no.
really good fun action
I'm
scene.
like doing like one of these things. We'll get it.
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
I really like this scene. When you were saying like I wanted more, I was like, really, this scene has so much. But you kept going. I was like, yeah. Some more scenes like this would be.
Yeah.
But I really like this scene because it's high intensity. It's still funny, and like it starts off pretty simple, right? They're like, okay, we get the key. All right, we got the key. Oh shit! Now it's all going bad. And thank God, girls there, and I know this isn't politically correct, but the girl's got balls. Like, she is definitely the bravest of all of them. But I do love how, like, Eddie Murphy throughout the whole movie is trying to, like, you can see him trying to put on that brave face. Like, he's scared, but you can tell that he's like, no, I got to get through this. We can do this. Ooh, we're good. Huh. Meanwhile, she's just like, I got this. Don't you worry, Dad. And what I really love about it is the ultimate payoff for Michael, because dude is scared, right? Like, the kid is scared. And they're in this crypt. They get the key. They're attacked by all of these guys. And then they're trying to get out, and the door closes and it's covered in spiders. And he's just like,
I'm sorry.
yeah, just like so frozen. And I love that, like, it all of the stuff that they kind of set up with each of the characters, like, there's not much growth or much expansion for people, but the fact that they established so early on that this kid is like deathly afraid of spiders, or just does not like spiders, which actually I wish his fear was a little more like real. When we see him with the first one, like, he's screaming, there's a spider, like, he's way intense, which is great. But by the time they're in there and they're talking about it, and it's like, you were right next to this spider and you seem quite calm. And you even get a little joke out about the Sports Illustrated thing. Like, but this moment where he's like, okay, it's, you gotta nut up, right? Like, you gotta do this. And he's covered in the spiders. He gets them out, and they're like, oh yeah, it's just the family of getting them all up. Like, I love how, although he has almost no involvement in the getting of this key, it's a team effort. It is a family effort where they couldn't have done it without him, and likewise, he couldn't have done it without them. So just a really nice moment. I really like how all of the intensity rounds out, and there are so many like really good edits in this movie, like from scene to scene transitions that they do. And this is a really good one where it's like, do you have the key? Yeah, I got it. And then I hate when they do like close-ups of somebody pulling something out of their pocket and you see the item, and like, that's just, it's not a shot that I particularly like, but the transition from that to now we're at Leota's and new scene and everything is going on, like, that was smooth. Loved it. So go ahead, Brian.
I mean, you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but when that whole thing is said and done, and the camera shoots, pans over Mike, I give him so much credit. He looked petrified with all the spiders just that's frozen and stiff, and they're just like, let's just get that off here.
That's the moment.
I just loved his acting. I was like, dude, you're crushing that one, because you look like you can't even walk a centimeter right now. He's just like,
you guys wouldn't go under the water. I would not be covered in those fucking spiders. No. Oh, okay.
No.
I'm sorry. Can you get a body double and just CGI on my face? Because no fucking.
And then like what are our thoughts on Jim's actions when it comes to like just sending his like just said, I'll fend the guy, you just go down there and get the key. Shouldn't it have been more of a like let's stay together as a team for both things? Like it's one guy, let's just get rid of this dude together and then we'll go get the key together. Like you're just gonna let your daughter go into the water of who knows what? I question the parenting on that one.
I think it's urgency. I think it's urgency at that point, right? Like it's one guy. I got him. Get that. And we'll get the hell out of here.
And then it became many.
It became many.
I think CPC has something to say about it. Go ahead.
I honestly think that the fact that the parents like have so much trust, I think, with their kids, is mostly a good thing in this scenario.
Yeah.
Because that's why the daughter is such a go-getter. She's like, she'll take on challenges because her parents let her have that sort of experience and that independence, right? If they were like helicopter parents and they coddled them and were like, stay behind me all the time, like their kids are going to be little bitch babies. Like it's, and so I applaud the parents for letting their kids kind of like be a part of the action, being, the hero that they need to be.
I mean, I guess you can make the case too that Jim's like, yeah, no, she's a lot braver than I am, so she can handle the water.
I mean, there's that too. Yeah, but all in all, it's just a really fun scene. And I just wish there were like more scenes like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree. It's in the intro. I just wanted more.
I'll say for like an hour and a half movie though, they do a lot. Like they get a lot done. This movie doesn't ever really feel like it's dragging on, but
that's true.
But I mean, like you were just saying, you throw in another couple of scenes, another 10, 15 minutes. And I mean, just bump this up to an hour and 45, hour 50. Like I'm down. I could be with it, but sorry. Does anybody else have anything to add?
No, not that one.
Before we lose you, Nick, and this is really for all of you guys, if you haven't seen it yet, if you're looking for a little more high intensity, higher action of a haunted mansion movie, the new one comes a bit more aggressive for you.
Yeah.
No, I'll definitely be watching that.
That's a good one.
Probably tomorrow, to be honest. Probably tomorrow night.
Nice. All Saints Day. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you'd enjoy it. If you like this one and you like the ride and everything, the reboot is really solid.
That's good. Yeah,
I think I'll dip once we're done with the scene, and then go on break and I'll leave. So, Matt, so you talk about Matt's scene next.
Sure. Do you guys have a guess of what it was? Grinning Graveyard.
Is it when they first get to the mansion and they see the big graveyard over the balcony?
No, that's what I was hoping you would think, though.
No, it's when they say, I see dead people.
Well, there's that. Yes. Yeah. So the reason I went with that whole bit, so like basically right up that leads into the whole mausoleum, the crypt bit.
Yeah.
It was two parts that I really love. It's the hitchhiking ghost, where it's a hilarious interaction to me where these ghosts are like, they can't see us. I'm like, yes, I can. I'm looking right at you. I think he can see us. No, he's lying. Like, it's just that guy who's, it's like going, like, he's so convinced.
This must be a psychic.
Yeah. He was looking right at me.
Yeah.
These freaking idiot hitchhiker ghosts. So they always make me laugh. They're so much fun. And I think they're a great way to start this scene because, well, actually, when the people that are the ghosts that are driving, when they lose their heads, like that's always a fun little moment too.
Right.
So just I think this whole bit of them getting into the graveyard and then when they're wandering around and then they find the bus, the singing bus, like all of it's so much fun. It's filled with tons of references to the ride and everything. So just like grinning because I believe it's a reference to some of the songs that they're singing, and just it makes me smile. It's a fun scene. Great transition from the intensity of Madame Leota into the intensity of having to find this key. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I really like the no answer quartet. That was cracking me up. I mean, Eddie Murphy just trying to be all serious, and they're just like, by the silvery moon. It's like, how is this helping me?
Where is the key? Where's the key? Where's the key?
The unhelpful quartet. Oh, that's
Yeah, no, I said no answer quartet.
No answer quartet.
My body lies over the like, it's the absolute worst.
Although, you know, I feel like that could have been a great opportunity, like Brian, like you were saying earlier, for Eddie Murphy to really bring out the Eddie Murphy. Like,
yes,
he starts singing
exactly.
with them, and then he like tries to get the answer out of them by like participating, you know? Yeah.
Or if he starts singing back at them in a question, or just, I mean, there's so many things Eddie Murphy could have, like, he's not an untalented improv actor, we all know this. If you've seen any of his movies, if there's one thing Eddie Murphy is good at, is letting loose in a movie and just going full tilt and cooking. And I'm like, dude, it was right there. You've got 4 singing statues, and you're not gonna just go like full comedian Eddie Murphy on us. Like, he played it so melodramatic, and I'm like, damn it.
Just as we're talking more about this, I am kind of, because I've never really thought about it much, but I'm starting to agree with you guys that like more Eddie being Eddie would be a lot of fun for this movie.
It would have worked. It wouldn't have taken anything away. I don't know. I don't know where the disconnect went.
Because even at that point, I do still think that he does sort of carry the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Like, even
he's definitely
the
carrying
amount, with the amount of Eddie Murphy we got, he still carries the movie.
Yeah.
And so without him, I feel like it really would have flopped, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually feeds a little bit into one of my kind of nitpicks with this movie. So I really like her, but Marsha Thomason.
Sarah.
Sarah, yes. Like she's great and she's phenomenal when she's on screen, but she gets like 0 screen time.
Yeah.
So she's a character that I really wish that they had kind of developed a bit more, because essentially she's just wife and mother. Now you're the modern day embodiment of this dead woman, and now her soul is within you, and we're back to normal, and it's done. Like, we get so little growth or really depth with her. So like, I mean, if I'm asking for really more of anything, I would have preferred more with her, but throw her with Eddie, more of Eddie. So, but more. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, I mean, just to kind of go on the themes of Eddie, I might as well just talk about mine. Or I'm sorry, the wanting more of Eddie. I'll talk about my scene that I wrote. It's Fortune Spinner, and it's quick, but I wrote it down because it's very visual. It's incredibly visual. It's you floating table, and it's just going around and around, and it's like you can feel like he's like, I'm getting nauseous. I'm like, keep me on this thing, and I'm gonna get nauseous too, man. Like, it's like, you know, bright red. You've got what's her name, Madam
Yoda.
Yeah. Just, you know, she's nice and green, so it's very colorful. And just the graphics of it, you know, it was, I think the CGI and everything, that was great. But once again, I just would have liked a little bit more of comedic Eddie Murphy dialogue in this, because he's doing a couple things, but he's not going, all right, I'm gonna start busting your spleens pretty soon with some of the things that I'm gonna say. And I'm like, we're just missing the mark a little too much. Go ahead, Matt.
I know, I'm with you, because while Leota is doing her whole incantation chanting prophecy bits or whatever,
right,
she's calling forth the dark spirits. Like, dark spirits, don't you be calling no dark spirits in here.
Exactly.
Those are classic Eddie Murphy moments, and I loved it in this. But like, I agree, like him reacting, responding more to like what she's saying, and her just doing her thing as he's being spun around this room and just taken on this ride. Like it would definitely be fun to have more of him just like saying things, screaming things. Because I mean, with this,
right, or just outperforming the crystal ball. It's like, dude, this is Jennifer Tilly, this is Eddie Murphy. You could throw her off her game so quickly, and you know this, Eddie. So I don't know.
well, I mean, she's crushing it, but at the same time, like, what is it that is required of her? Is like you're doing this incantation, this chant, or whatever. There's her tone and everything maintains throughout. She's not really interacting with him.
Yeah.
Even in the scene, it's just kind of like, oh, he's here. Now I do my bit.
Yeah.
And to have him just reacting to it all, like he's saying and doing all of these things with no response or reaction from her, let it happen.
Yeah.
For it to end where it's just like boom, drops him, and then he's running and being chased by the
Yeah.
like it's those are classic Eddie moments, and like I'm with you.
Yep.
Into it. Although I'm curious, I wouldn't be surprised if like he had takes where he just went to town and they're like either one, the filming crew screwed up and like we're laughing and they're like, well, that we ruined that take. Or he's going too far with it and they're like, oh my God, Eddie, that was amazing, that was hilarious, but we cannot
You'll never be in the movie.
we cannot use that.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I can't remember what it was, but he dropped ass. Like oh God, I can't remember the reference or what he's saying. Is like but I don't know why. Anytime that they drop like profanity in a Disney movie, especially when it's rated freaking PG, I'm always a little thrown off by it, but not disappointed. It's just like, oh, okay, they did that. So,
all right,
let Eddie cook.
That leaves Jen.
What was your title?
Off to the pit you go.
Is this when Ramsey gets taken?
Yeah.
Oh.
By the fire dragon.
Yeah.
Ah.
It gives me like like Hunchback of Notre Dame vibes with the hellfire.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh. Well, let's talk about this one.
I can see the vibe. I titled this Fire Breathing Fire Dragon.
Fire Breathing Fire Dragon.
Oh, this scene. Yeah.
I just thought of another. It was like, no more chances for you. Like, you're done. And end scene. No, this one, wow. That's all I gotta say. It's like, could you imagine? Okay, you're in purgatory, and like you're still doing things wrong. So now you are going to hell, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like being dragged down by the dragon himself. It's intense.
Yeah,
it's intense because you would think like when you first see it, you think like the dragon's gonna attack everybody, kind of like full Aladdin scene.
Right.
And then he just goes straight for him, like straight to the business.
It happens so quickly too. It's like, because once you start to see the dragon emerge, you're like, oh man, here comes like a 10-minute action sequence. Like, let's go. And then just like you said, he grabs Ramsey.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got my guy. I'm pulling him in. Shut the door. We're done. Like,
yeah.
Like it was like there is nothing. Like, it's just like, and that's it. The conflict has been resolved.
Yeah. Like, all done. You don't have to worry about that guy anymore. There's no saving him. He is going to hell.
Well, I can't remember. Does he grab anybody while he's being dragged back, or like does he just like hold on? I thought somebody else is like heading towards the pit.
Yeah.
Doesn't Eddie end up like dangling in the pit or something?
Yeah, and then
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah, he grabs onto Eddie's like ankles,
That's right. Yeah.
pulls him down, and then he's like 2 finger on the edge there.
Hmm.
I think Gracie saves him, right?
And Gracie saves them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my thoughts about the scene, because Brian, you kind of mentioned it. I wasn't sure if I liked the scene because it was like quick and done, or if I wanted like a 10-minute, action sequence,
Yeah.
and like I don't know which one I like more, because like when that dragon comes out, it's like I want to see more of that,
Mhm.
but and then it's just like, oh, okay, villain's dead, done. Like all that build up for just that,
So if you're unpacking it and you're trying to make a case for it, like you have to remember the villain is a ghost. So it's like, how do you kill a ghost that's basically in, death's waiting room?
Wow. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Bless the king.
Bless it all, thou
Thank
king.
you.
You have a peasant in there for your tissue.
Thank you, Brian. You have been knighted, Sir Brian.
Yeah, so I kind of get on the storytelling aspect. It's like, oh, that's a tough one. It's like, the dude's dead. Eddie Murphy's character has tried to punch him like 80 times. I'm like, you gonna learn?
Yeah.
You can't. It's not gonna work for you, buddy. Mad as you get, he's just gonna disappear into a cloud. So I guess when you get that and you get the fire breathing fire dragon coming out, in a way, I guess it's got to be fast and it's like, okay, he grabbed him and he's going to the depths of hell. Story checks out. I guess that's how you kill somebody that's in death's waiting room.
Yeah.
So
already
if you're looking for like a storytelling, I can see that, because it's like, what does the dragon do? Start shooting fire at him, and then the mansion goes up in flames, and then you got to worry about that. I think at the end it gets a little sticky and hairy.
I kind of like that, actually.
A burning mansion.
Yeah. The burning haunted mansion. Or maybe that's too dark. But
I don't. It's
burning mansion.
Nice. I don't know why, but I feel like one of the things that kind of bothers me about Ramsley is like he's clearly the bad guy. He's all of the evil things, right? Like he's a bad man. But ultimately, like I don't really get his motivations, like initially what he does, right? It's like, oh, you're tarnishing your good name by marrying this peasant woman or whatever. It's like, why the fuck do you care?
Yeah.
And but also like that's like the start of it all, right? That's what kicks it all off. And then even throughout, like as we see him, like he's being bad, he's being mean, but he's not really doing a whole lot other than trying to save his own ass by the end of it. Like that's really his motivation at the end, is like, I kind of screwed everybody, and while that sucks for them, it really sucks for me, and I want to fix the situation. That's it. Like it's just he's very selfish by the end of it. But like I don't know. I wish, not to say that he doesn't deserve to be dragged to hell by a fire-breathing fire dragon, but I don't know. I wish that he was a bit more evil. Like I wish that there was a lot more terror that he had really caused. Because I mean, what else does he really do with the kids and even Jim in this movie? Is like, okay, he locks them in a room, or he locks them in a truck, or just like, he doesn't kill anybody. He doesn't necessarily put them into moral danger or anything. Don't necessarily kill anybody. But like it's just I don't know. I feel like for a villain, they could have made him a lot more evil. Go ahead, Jen.
So I am kind of so like, I think he went to hell for like the act that he committed like long ago. Because if you think about it, he was trying to right the wrong that he did in this present day,
Mm,
right?
mhm.
Because he wasn't, I mean, the only bad thing he was thinking about doing is possibly killing Sarah. So that's just so they could be reunited. But other than that, like, he was just trying to
Right,
be
his
free.
murder.
Yeah, like let Gracie be free, finally.
Yeah.
Which, can I just shout out to Gracie for being like the man? I mean, talk about commitment. You you are sticking it out. I need to find a guy like that. It's just like, I will wait. Thousands of years later.
I do have to go, by the way. So I don't know.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
That's probably perfect timing. I think we're good for a break because I got to go potty.
I already started cooking and I'm hungry.
There we go. There we go. Well, all right, Nick. We appreciate you sticking it out with us as long as you have. We hope you have fun at the haunted house. Don't pee your pants, and if so, maybe bring a pair of extra pants with you. But are you wearing the costume?
Shows here.
Yes, I'm wearing the costume.
Nice.
Of course, it's Halloween. What do you mean? I'm
Just making sure. Just making sure, dude. But yeah. Appreciate you sticking it out. I think we just need your final thoughts on who won the movie before you leave.
Sure. I'll keep it simple. Final thoughts. We didn't really talk about much, but overall, it's a fun movie. I'll probably watch it during Halloween next year, and yeah, that's it. Won the movie. I'm gonna have to give it to the set design, the art department. It looked phenomenal. The sets looked amazing.
I want to say at some points they actually did film on the ride.
Did they?
Yeah. Like I when Jim is running through the hallways with the knocking doors and everything, I think he's being chased by the instruments. He's kind of like on a weird little rampy bits. I believe that's the actual ride.
Oh, that's
yeah.
See, I've only gone on the ride once, so we have to go again.
Get on it. It's the best.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, so art department wins the movie.
Nice. All right. Well, I think the rest of us are going to go ahead and take our break. Nick, once again, thank you for joining us. Have fun at your haunted house. The rest of you guys, we'll see you back in a few minutes, and we'll really dive into the Haunted Mansion.
Wait, do we want to share what next week movie is, or are we going to wait? Do you know it?
You can put it in the chat at the end. That's fine.
Okay.
He wants to be surprised after the haunted house.
Yeah, well, just so that you guys can anticipate for it at the end of this, so then I'll just find out in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good, man.
Cool. All right. See you guys.
Yep.
Have a good talk.
Bye.
Have fun, Nick.
See ya.
Don't have fun, Nick.
Don't have fun. So yeah, let's
real
go.
Fun is going down here.
Hells yeah.
But, you know, enjoy your mansion or your haunted house or whatever you're doing.
Freaking loser.
Probably a shack.
Haunted shack. Haunted cardboard box.
Okay, I really
haunted teepee.
Oh, you guys are killed.
Oh, I'm outside.
We should start at the very beginning because it's a very good place to start.
After you've already started.
Well, we haven't technically started. We've gone into scenes. We haven't really started. Even Nick was like, we haven't started. But...
Oh my gosh, I need to stop dying real quick. I was too excited for those sugar. I literally was like,
Jen's so excited that she finally got trick-or-treaters. She can't catch her breath and she's dying.
I like drowned myself.
Yes, take your time. But yes, so just on the subject of getting a very good place to start, did you guys want that to be, what's it saying? Went out of focus a little bit.
Have Happy Halloween. Is that a towel or a napkin?
It's a towel.
Can it be your bib? Can you just put that on? I'm serious.
We're wild tonight. Let's go.
I love it.
And I haven't even eaten candy yet.
Oh my god. Oh, I actually do have a little candy, I think. Yeah. It's Halloween. We're getting a little weird. It's but as far,
can I say what I want to say about the beginning?
yes, please do. Please.
No, but Matt's got to do his thing first.
I already did my thing.
Oh, okay.
Trade off.
So, can I just point out that the beginning is almost like identical to Casper?
Make a case.
At least from like what I can remember from guys, you know, my memory is not the greatest. So I just remember Casper starting off with a kid on their bike. And they go up to the big gate. But rather than like a ghost figure popping out at them, like they get, what is it, like trash gets tossed out of the house or something, or food to like scare them away.
The kids go into the house to take a picture.
And that's it. Yes, the flash. Yeah. I just felt like it was so similar. And even like that outer gate, like I was like, is this Casper's house? Like, is it the same thing? Does anyone know?
I'm fairly certain very different places.
Definitely different places, yeah.
Well, I think Casper takes place in Maine, I think. And the Haunted Mansion's in Louisiana. So I mean, like, just geographically very different locations as far as story. But Jen, I think if you went back and you looked at the gates itself and the house in Casper, you'd be like, oh yeah, they're not the same.
They're not the same. But like it's kind of like similar intros though, right? Like the whole
Yeah, I was confused what you were going for, like when you're saying like the same. But no, spot on of like, yeah, that's the scary gate for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's stick with that, like as like the actual intro, but like let's quickly over the opening credits, because I really like how they do it. It's very subtle, but they tell you kind of the backstory of the Haunted Mansion, what's going on. Like you see Elizabeth writing her suicide letter, taking the poison, finding like I really like the tarot cards, like those popping up and kind of telling the story as well. So I really like this intro, how it combines us the actors' names with context for this mansion and what happened within it. So we really like all of that stuff, but don't need to dwell. I love how, like you're saying, it starts with kind of that same Casper intro of at the gate, and the kids got all of these damn Evers and Evers posters. Excuse me. All of these Evers and Evers posters, and it makes perfect sense. Like the ghosts see, like, oh my God, that's her. Let's get her here. So like that makes sense later. But because they focus on Eddie, and this is, I think it's the first of like the brilliant transitions where it hovers over that poster, zooms in on it, and it pulls out, and it's Eddie making the exact same smile and the exact same suit. And now we're in it of him doing his whole realtor thing. And it's so good. It's a really good transition. It's a great way to like really see the story, but also what a perfect way to kind of distract us from the reality. And I love how in the actual intro with the credits and everything, whenever Elizabeth is visible, her face is hidden. We never see what she looks like. And it's just it's a subtle detail, but it's brilliant because it hides that whole fact of the big reveal later on, where she is the real reason that they are there. Another reason I wish that they had kind of leaned more into her character, like she's clearly important. Make her a bigger character, make her a bigger person. But I don't know, maybe it is all by design to just kind of that red herring of they're just being pulled to this house. But I digress. Go ahead, Jeb.
I was gonna say, I will say, like, for me, in my opinion, like, I think they made it very obvious that Sarah was like the only one really that they wanted, you know?
Mhm.
Once that phone call is made and like you can hear Ramsley on the other end, it's like, can you come alone?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really creepy, like just as a general thing of like, one, you sound creepy, Terrence, and you know, but you're calling a realtor, you're specifically asking for her, you're asking her to come alone. Like it's just kind of like these are red flags.
Yeah, a lot of red flags going on here.
But you're right. They do make it pretty clear right off the bat that like she is the one they're interested in.
Mhm.
But yeah, go ahead, Brian.
So I have a head scratcher for you guys.
Lay it on.
The only way it's going to work is if you have seen this other movie. So we'll see how this goes.
I may not be able to participate.
Did Monster House rip off the Haunted Mansion?
I've only seen that like once, so I don't know.
How so? Like I'm trying to like fully get the connection that you're making.
I feel like entirely, to tell you the truth, just on a smaller scale, where the house is the actual monster itself, but the background story and all that, it's all right there. So if you guys need a little fresh recap, there's a guy who is voiced by Steve Buscemi, which a lot of people totally forget that it's Buscemi. I think it's like Norris, I want to say is his name is, or Harris or something like that. And he acts like he's like this grumpy old man, and he basically just tells people to stay away from this house. And the house is truly a haunted house. It for kids, it hates kids. It takes their toys, it gobbles it up. It turns into the haunted house when it's in the presence of kids, but in the presence of adults, it's just this old rustic house, or rusty house. And then the whole thing goes as to how they need to kill the house. Like the whole story is like how these three kids are going to kill the house. And then they ended up finding out through the backstory and the back history is the guy Mr. Norris fell in love with his wife, who was very, very overweight, and ends up falling. He's building a house from scratch, and she falls backwards and lands in cement and dies. But she always hated children, even when she was alive. It was like, I can't stand kids. They need to stay away from my property. And that's how she died, is she was trying to chase kids off her property. And the house was built, but the house was built with her as part of that house. And so she's basically the heart of the house. And they finally find a way to basically free her spirit. And the house is now no longer a monster or a haunted house.
That's not the same.
I see some similarities, but to say that it stole it, absolutely not. Like,
No.
I think they took a lot of the foundation of a haunted mansion and like, hey, I think I've got an idea here.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I will say that it's flimsy.
I'm saying you're wrong.
Okay, there you go.
Back to the drawing board for you.
I was looking. I wanted to look up Monster House because you brought it up.
Sure.
Jimmy's character on IMDb is listed as Nebercracker.
Oh, that was his name. That's right.
He's Horace.
Crazy name, Nebercracker.
I don't know why I went with Horace.
Well, that might be his first name. Like I said, it's listed as Nebercracker. That's probably a last name.
I'm also going off memory here, so.
Well, you're doing great. Yeah, I mean, what I really remember from the Monster House is how the house is literally her.
Yeah.
It's like, I think the chandelier that's hanging in the entryway in the foyer is like her uvula or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So
And yeah, her breathing is like the chimney.
mhm.
That's her, like, breathing, and they got to find the heart, and yeah.
Yeah, and I think in the attic too, there's like a chest or something where it's like that it's got her memories in it, or like
And the basement has her actually still in the cement.
yeah. So I'm I say flimsy, but
Right.
but to your credit, Monster House came out 3 years later. So to say that it probably didn't take any inspiration is, maybe a stretch. I could see that they would at least be.
I think there's some skeletal bones and structure in there.
Stupid.
Saying.
Let's see. So it's Columbia Pictures. I can't remember if Columbia Pictures is.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I think Columbia Pictures is part of Fox. Amblin. Yeah, I think or maybe Universal. I can't remember who has Columbia. I don't think it's Disney though. But there's that.
Is DreamWorks?
What was that?
Is DreamWorks and Columbia Disney?
I don't think so. DreamWorks I think it's its own thing, but God, see, that's where it gets confusing because I think DreamWorks is tied into Universal. I don't know. Maybe I mean, there's too many companies that are like under the big umbrella of something, and I can't always remember the connections.
Well, Disney is like top 6, so
I don't think Monster House is related to Disney though. I think it is a separate.
Oh, it's not. It's not at all.
God, Monster House is actually a pretty decent movie.
It's not bad.
It's kind of silly, and also like the animation is very unique. Like that's when they started really going for the 3D stuff. But yeah, so let's get back on track with Haunted Mansion. I just kind of want to knock out all of the stuff that happens before they get to the house.
Okay.
So like I guess really for like I'll call it it's a head scratcher. Why the hell would Jim take on another client as he's trying to, like, he knows he's trying to get to his anniversary dinner. He sells this house. He's like, I mean, he's clearly in a hurry with these people to the point that he even yells at him like, sign the damn paper. And but I think by the end of that too, you can see that he did have a drink with them. So like he spent time, he did whatever, but he gets it done. He goes to leave. The new couple is like, hey, we heard you. Well, we're looking to buy. And then he, rather than just doing the simple act of like, well, I'm heading off to meet my wife for our anniversary. Here's my card. Please call me in the morning and I will be glad to take care of you. And then that's it. But because he has, I guess, such an ego about himself, or like he just can't stop, he puts on his face, turns around, and does this whole like, "Hi, I'm Jim Evers of Evers and Evers," and like he starts his whole speech. Which, by the way, I do love the whole Evers and Evers, because we want you to find your forever home or be happy for Evers and Evers.
Yeah, no, we want you to be happy for Evers and Evers. That is what a tagline. Come on.
With a name like Evers and you're selling stuff, oh, you
too good.
You were on it.
And the way he says it, his delivery on it,
it's that Eddie Murphy smile that they get.
Yes.
It's so toothy and just like, yeah. But yeah, so like, what were your guys'? Jen, what were your thoughts?
Well, okay, as this just came into my head, so. It's kind of like very poetic, this movie, because you have Gracie, who has sacrificed literally everything for love, whereas you have, was it Jim, like sacrificing in a bad way his love. It's like you're sacrificing your love, and so. It's almost like a full circle, and it took Gracie and his crazy self to like open up the eyes of Jim and like what he has to lose. It's kind of cool. Yay.
Go ahead, Brian.
I mean, this movie came out in 2003, but let's be real. This is the classic 90s trope that was in several things, and that's the overworking father who spent all the time at work and no time with the family. You know, the supported, brought home the bacon, all that stuff, but emotionally just completely lacked. And it's, I don't know, maybe it's the carryover and everything. So when you see it, does it surprise you? No. You're like, of course you're gonna go for the business deal. You're a workaholic. You've sold 7 houses in 1 month, and it's just not enough for you to stop. When the logic side is, well, I just said I need to spend. I'm gonna be spending an anniversary date with my wife. I have a 7 p.m. She actually even helped me close a home based off of brilliant key phrasing and the way that I was worded and everything. And how I'm going to repay her is try to get greedy, get more business, and then miss it out entirely. And it's like, does it surprise us when we see it? It doesn't, because we're 90s kids and that's what we were used to. However, when we're looking at it and we're breaking it down, it's like we see the logic answer here. Take down the information, say, you know what? I love selling homes, but I love my family more. And I'm going to spend time with my family. If you're going to work with me, you got to know you're dealing with a family, man. But you also got to know I'm going to find you the home of your life, because I know what it's like to be a family and living in your dream home. That said, I'm going to go spend my time with my loving wife. I will get in touch with you as soon as I can, and I look very forward to working with you. You haven't lost the sale. You just closed the personal relationship. You now have a connection. They're like, damn, this guy knows what's going on. I don't want anyone else. I'm going to hang out with him, and it's a win-win.
Yeah, you know, it's you bring up the 90s cliche of it all, and like, you're absolutely right. Like, it still kind of bothers me, but I think in this situation where they're trying to sell the family dynamic quickly,
yeah,
it's a very effective way of doing so. But
listen, not everyone's Mr. Matthews. I'm learning that.
Mr. Matthews is the best.
Or Mr. Fiend.
Fiend is a great guy, but not a dad.
Not a dad. Well, arguable.
Not a biological father.
There you go.
Off topic, but did you see Bobby Joe's daughter watching the end scene of Boy Meets World?
Yeah.
She was here.
And I'm like, kid, you should have been there when they debuted it for real.
Yeah. So Matt, just to keep you in the loop, because I always feel awkward just, you know, if I don't know what's going on. So our friend Bobby Jo, like, we've known her for like over 20 years now, like lifetime friend. And so like we grew up watching Boy Meets World like air live. And she has a daughter that's now like in middle school. And she just watched, I think it was right before, like they didn't even get to college yet. Like this was just the high school.
It was the last day of high school.
The last day of high school. And her daughter was just like, because she's like I think she put like, if you know or something.
Yeah.
So she like shows her TV, which is clearly the last episode of Boy Meets World, and then pans it over to her daughter, and she's like, stop. It was so great. What a beautiful thing to see.
I don't remember how it ends. I assume it's graduation and Feeney drops an incredible speech that brings everyone to tears.
No.
Close.
Then 3 in the classroom.
They're in the classroom, and because like they go back and they're like, no, we're not done learning from you. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, like really, like it's time to go on. And then he says the line that hits the heart. It's like, class dismissed.
Yep.
I love you all.
I love you all. Oh man.
You know what's sad is like I just got chills even as you said it.
I know. It's like, class dismissed. They're bad. I get why Eric said it that way.
So Nick and I, you've heard us talk about it. Cody, who we work with, or he used to work with, I do that to him all the time. Right. I hit that Feeny, but with Cody. I go, Cody. I do it to him all the time. But oh my God, that show is just incredible.
It's so good. Eric was like my first crush.
Oh, God.
Crush.
I'm blanking on his name, but what an incredible guy.
Wilfred.
Yes, thank you. He's just amazing. And although
first.
What was that?
You never forget your first.
With you. But yeah, like I may not agree with what they did with this character from like the start of the show to the end of like even high school bits. But he brought it like every time he was the best. He was such a good big brother and just a phenomenal character. So great. Not to mention all the stuff that Will has done since. Great guy. So I did want to get back to the Haunted Mansion with Jim as a dad. I do hate how the fathers that do this where like they know they made a mistake and like they show up and they always do the whole like here's a cutesy little thing or here's a present, in this case both, but like I dislike it. It's perfect for this, but as like a trope and everything, I'm like, oh, this sucks. Where it's
buying the love.
Exactly. Like I think that's what it's supposed to make you feel like it's like, you disgust me, sir. Like could have just shown up for this dinner. It would have been fantastic. You would have had a great night. It would have been fine and everybody would be good. So it's like, I hate that. I hate when they do that. But what I'll say is like a father though, he seems to be a good dad. Like he gets there, he tries to fix his mistake with the wife of like, yeah, you know what, we're gonna go out for the weekend. We're gonna have a nice weekend at the lake. It's gonna be a good time. Kids, yeah, we're going on a trip. Like, I mean, and the kids like him. It's not like he's this dad who's never there. He's just in love with his work. Like currently work is number one. And I think Megan is the daughter. Like, I think she kind of recognizes that and she's a little annoyed by dad, which is why she's so testy and just like, whatever. But I don't think that they've reached that point, or he hasn't even reached that point to where it's like, dad is the worst. He is an absolute enemy and we hate him. It's like, dad's working again, whatever.
Yeah.
It's an annoyance, but it hasn't gone too far yet. Go ahead, Jen.
To bring it back to what you said with the gifts, like the little, oh, here's a shiny thing. What I wasn't expecting was when they were having that argument when they were in the mansion and he like throws that in her face. I was like, oh,
yeah,
what a douche. Like that is something I feel like that doesn't really happen a lot in. Like, yeah, the dad works a lot at the work, but I don't think I've ever seen it where they're like, oh, and you don't have a problem with these, like, all these nice things I buy. It's like, excuse me, get out. Like, no. Oh, I was so shocked. I wasn't expecting that bit at all.
Yeah, because you bring that up, I really love that aspect of her because she was like, oh, she doesn't even say anything. She's just like, oh, yeah, take the damn thing. I don't care. And then walks away and shuts herself in the bathroom. And like you knew he knew. He's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I was like, too far.
Line me.
Yeah.
And actually, I really love how Eddie Murphy's tone totally changes. It's like, honey, I'm gonna go. Like you can see that he's trying to put on that voice of like, I know I fucked up.
You know the irony is, right? The irony is like, well, now I got to buy some earrings. Well, okay. That's what he's going. He's like, how do I fix this?
Oh my gosh. No.
But with that argument, that's one of the things that I actually liked about this is he's the only one that's ever talked about the money. It's not like the kids are asking for a bunch of stuff. They never ask like, oh, we want a new video game. We want a new bicycle. I want to go blah, blah. They never ask for anything. She never asked for anything. it's just and I agree that this is still part of that whole 90s kind of dad trope of like just workaholic. And he's got that idea of success in his head of like, the more money I can make and bring to this family, the more things I can give them, the happier they're going to be. Like that's where his head is at. That's where his thought process is. And when he drops that, like, it's your fault. Like, it's okay that I bring all this money, but it's like, nobody asked you for that. Nobody asked for anything. I didn't ask for these. I didn't ask for this jewelry. I didn't ask for this watch. I didn't ask for any of it. So fuck you for bringing it up. Go ahead, Jen.
Can I just throw out the winning quote for me?
Yeah.
It's when they're at the Black Crypt, right? And the daughter's like, "Oh, I didn't know you had a bad childhood." And then, like, where do you go for that? Because Jim was like, "I just want to give you a better, like, childhood than I had." And then the daughter just automatically, "I didn't know you had a bad childhood." And he's like, "I didn't." He's like, "Shut up." You know, like, maybe what am I doing here? Like, why am I so stressed out and thinking I am not giving enough? Where it's like, clearly my family is happy. So where does this thought come from? I was just like, you go, Megan. Like, that was so quick.
Yeah.
I love quick stuff like that because I can't do that. So I'm just like, good job.
That's the beauty of scripts. Those things are written for you. You don't have to think.
Exactly.
I need a script for me.
Oh, I got to rewatch and catch that because I missed that. But I don't know. I really like when there's those moments like of that reality check, because I guess you could argue like as this is absolutely about Jim Evers, right? Like, Jen, you mentioned like the kind of his journey from like I guess like his love connection of like Gracie. So this is a guy who has been stuck in purgatory. He's been stuck as a ghost for decades, centuries. Because he's loved this woman so deeply, he refuses to leave without her, essentially. And then you've got Jim, he's forgotten that, right? And you can see throughout the movie, like as things are happening, and this is actually something I really love that they do with the kids and the dad. Once they're in the house, they separate them, and so they can all, this is one of those. It's not the Scooby-Doo, like, okay, well, let's split up. It's no, the house has kind of caused them to split up, find their way back. But on Jim's side of it, every time something is brought up with mom or Sarah, like in general, it's like, wait, what? This guy's trying to get me with my wife. Like it's kind of like surface love for a while, but you can really see his character change of like his motivations of, I love my wife and I will do anything to keep her, to protect her, and to, to let her know that she's mine and that I love and support her. And you get that whole transition from start to finish, that by the end of this movie where he's willing to risk it all for her. Even I think it's the moment where it's actually Elizabeth and is kissing Gracie, and he looks over to the kids and he's just like, it's okay. It's not her. Like that. like a little part of him is like probably pretty pissed off, but he also understands what's happening because now he understands what that love is, that true love of what Gracie was waiting for, what Gracie was trying to fight for, and what he has, what he doesn't want to lose. Go ahead, Brian.
The only other thing I just want to kind of throw out for, you said before they get to the house.
Yeah.
They do such a great job of within seconds kind of establishing the family dynamic that we're dealing with here. It's like you get instantly, you're like, okay, cool. So Jim, you're a workaholic. You care about your family, but I think you care about your job more than being with your family. And then the mom, it's like, well, you're supportive. You are a two-team duo real estate powerhouse. So good job there. So we know that there's success. And then when it comes to the kids, it's like, okay, cool. We've got a little scaredy kid who's, learning the ropes, trying to become, figuring out a way to become a man. And then you've got your powerhouse of a sister who is just afraid of absolutely nothing. Like the buildup, the whole spider buildup, like it was just so like, it was amazing. It was like Jim is taking his time. He's like, okay, you gotta find that right. Sometimes you use time, other times you use Vanity Fair, like just dropping all like, he's like, it doesn't really matter what magazine you're picking. And it's like, okay, and now you just gotta whack it. And like the whole whack it thing.
Aside, because then you cover all of its escape routes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's talking about like how the spider has an escape route and everything, and then and then he's about to do it, and the sister just gets there. Can we move on with this crap? I was like, okay, I know you're dynamic, and I know you're dynamic, and it's just a really good setting the table.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Like so I've been I've been researching more stuff about like script writing and that kind of stuff, and that's one of those things that is like a really good sign of a good script is like you can explain so much with so little.
Yeah.
And like you said, I mean, within a matter of 3 minutes, we know everything we need to know about this family and their dynamic.
Yep. And we even get a life lesson, and that is it's important to whack your own spider.
Yes. And don't Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
Take that. It makes you wonder. I feel like there was like some hidden sexual innuendo in this, but maybe that's just me.
I think there's a lot of Disney movies.
But so think of it this way. Like you said, that kid, it's kind of his journey to like becoming a man, right?
Exactly.
And that's the thing. It's like, I think he even says it's like, oh, you can look at this, but you can't kill your own spider.
Right.
But I weirdly enough,
but they don't say kill, Matt. They never say kill.
It's true.
They say whack
your own spider. So they're going with mob phrases, which is probably wise.
Right.
We're gonna whack him. So yeah, those are like fun little subtle things too, right? Of like it's Michael's journey of becoming a man.
Yeah, exactly.
Although Megan doesn't really have anything that she like overcomes or like changes.
No, there's not a lot of. I think what you're looking for is like character development.
Yeah.
For her, it's like this is who she is, this is who she will be, and this is who she was throughout the movie.
Yeah. So okay, I think what this movie is trying to tell us is that we shouldn't change women.
No, they're natural born leaders. Let them do their thing. Let them whack spiders.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Don't hold the women back. Just let them be who they are.
There you go.
Meanwhile, men, whack your own spiders.
Are we done with the pre-house? Because if so, I have a head scratcher that I want to hit before I can even further discuss the mansion.
I believe so. The only thing I'd like to bring up is the gate.
What about it?
I don't like when they do this of like showing a gate is like strongly and completely chained up. They turn around and then the gate opens.
Yep.
Like
I questioned it. But I wasn't going to say anything because you guys nag on me too much for like being too real. And I was like, all right, that one.
I mean, come on. It's a haunted mansion.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was like, all right, clearly a ghost did some chicanery with the gate.
I see a lot of like Beauty and the Beast. Maybe the gate itself was alive. You know what I mean?
Maybe. The gate's just doing a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Yeah, the gate is like, oh, it's my turn. We gotta let him in. He was sleeping.
There's a way to fix that though. There really is. You show that the gate is double side. It closes like one, two, and it's locked right there, right? But then when a gate opens, why don't not just give the full complete swing where it stays locked in the middle, but all of a sudden it has magic powers that it can open up wide as one. I think it's a quick fix, and then you don't have discussions like this.
I don't like it.
Of course you don't.
I was thinking about this too, because I can't remember. I think some like horror parody or something actually does this, where like it shows the gate and the chain in the middle of the gates, and then it just opens as one big gate.
Right.
I think that's hilarious. But the reason it bothers me in a movie like this, where they see the chains around it, they touch the chains, they acknowledge the chains, they turn around, and then the gate opens, and they're just like, "Oh, no big deal, it's open." It's like you just saw these chains. There's clearly nobody around, like, and you're not the least bit suspicious about this.
I think they were very suspicious the whole time. They are going through it like, we need to just turn around. But Jim is so blind.
Sarah has a look. Before
She's got intuition.
Yeah.
Look, I said, okay, you said women be natural leaders. So I kid you not, I said this, I was like, when it comes to like the spiritual realm, follow the women. Because men, I don't think your imaginations can go that deep.
I mean, just to continue, like when it comes to the things that they were doing in the mansion, they were doing it fairly nonchalantly, like this was their everyday stuff that they're used to. I would have wanted a little bit more of like paranoia or a little added suspense. I mean, they're just like, oh, we just got to push this tomb open. Cool. Oh, I just got to dig into this dead dude's chest. It's gross, but I'll still do it. Oh, we got to just sit down with this floating crystal ball. Yeah, no problem. It's like, is this just your typical Wednesday? Like,
I get what you, yeah.
I mean, there was no hesitation to drop their kids off in the damn room. It's like, oh, so we trust this place now? I really do question the it's like the bravery and all that. It's a little iffy on this one.
They're realtors and they go to this house, like, and somehow they find themselves eating a meal. Like, you don't know who these people are. Everything that you could be eating could be freaking made of human. You don't know.
Right.
Like, oddly trusting, but
very.
Yeah, because they show Sarah having some sort of kind of like something like that's odd, or like there's little moments of that where even when they get to the house, right? Like she's like, well, some people have swimming pools, some people have private cemeteries. There's those little moments where it seems really calm, but what's interesting to me is Sarah as a character, because she does have Elizabeth within her. She's the reincarnation, right? It's interesting to me to think about it as she's maybe not necessarily looking at it as like that's suspicious, but maybe seeing things as this is familiar. Yeah. Like she's having some sort of deja vu. And like when I think when they finally get into the house and she's describing everything, she's like the artwork, the architecture, the blah blah blah. Like it's lovely. It's truly incredible. I've never seen anything like this, or she says you don't see anything like this. At least I don't. Like there's little things like that make me assume that's what they're trying to do with her character, of like, because even Gracie's got like as she's talking, it's the infatuation of like, yes, please say more. I'm so happy you're here. But is it also that he's looking for, like, she recognizes, she remembers? Because later on in the movie, that's what everything's about. Like, please, you have to remember who you are, like it. And those are the things I wish they had dug a little bit more deeper with details, rather than just leaving it up to us to interpret. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, a couple things. So Sarah is Sarah for the most part up until the very end of the movie. And then she becomes Elizabeth when Elizabeth actually goes in. So the whole like try to remember, it's like, well, I'm Sarah, I'm remembering everything, so that wasn't there. But the there was a run on joke that they were doing, and I wanted them to just keep doing it through the whole movie because it was so entertaining to me as the Evers were basically first touring the mansion. They were making comments on ways that they could sell this thing, and just some of the ways that they're turning the graveyard. They're like, oh, it's just like wide open historic real estate, and she's like, that's good, put that on the flyer. I would have loved if they got to a new room, if they just found a way to like, we could say this throughout the whole movie. It would just been so funny if the ultimate run-on joke is two realtors despite the ghosts and the adventures that they're going on, they're still trying to find ways to describe selling points to the house.
That would be really funny.
It would be great.
Finding that clever twist of how we can sell this.
Exactly.
I think that would be great, especially with Jim's line later on where it's like he finds out the truth of everything and he lists everything. He's like, and the house isn't even for sale. Like, like I'm over here busting my ass coming up with all of these ways to sell this place, and you're telling me I can't even do that?
Yeah.
For them, though, like the forevers and evers, I mean, that's a real thing for those guys.
Taking it seriously.
Taking it seriously.
Okay. Here's my head scratcher, so I can actually probably talk a little bit more about this movie, because I just got to know what you guys think. What are the ghost rules when it comes to like touching and physical? It really throws me off. It's like some ghosts, we just go right through things. Ramsey, when he went through him, the tree branch went through, but then again, they're like making, dinner and they got chicken. And so it's like you have to physically touch something if it's chicken. And then sometimes they are touching each other, such as Gracie and Sarah. I just don't know what the rules are here. Can anyone clarify? I got one hand. I got two hands.
I am a ghost.
Can John go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm stealing this from another movie called Ghost. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Okay, so
Patrick Swayze?
Yeah. So it's like levels, right? The ghosts have levels and strengths, and so they can go like full on contact with the physical, or they could just be like, meh.
Okay. So we're just military ranking the Haunted Mansion now.
It's however much strength they want to put into
Perfect.
their haunting.
Hey, it's an explanation. I'll take it.
I don't have an answer, like, because I mean this is like the constant struggle with anything that has ghosts in the movie. It's like, okay, at what point are they able to be completely, immaterial, and at what level can they interact with the real world? So like
immaterial become immaterial.
Those things are always wishy-washy with ghosts, and rarely do they actually have an explanation within movie of like why things are the way that they are.
Right.
And like for this movie, what really bothers me is they make such a point at the beginning when they first get to the house where, Jim sticks out his hand to shake with Ramsey and no dice. He does the same thing to Master Gracie, and like same thing of like, it's like they're refusing to touch him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's chalk it up to germs. But it's like I hate that they made such a big deal of that, and then literally it does not matter the rest of the movie. They're touching things, they're touching each other. And then they can choose to just be the ghostly form of like, you go right through me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so that's my only like nitpick as far as like that kind of thing with this, is like they made a point to do that at the beginning, and then it just kind of left out there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel always been the case of ghosts can choose whether they interact with something or not. Like even, I mean, let's go to Casper, right? I mean, there's a whole scene of like his hand going straight through her.
Yeah.
But he's also wearing a chef's hat and making breakfast. And like, I mean, so it's like, so does he just get to choose how solid he is? And like, yeah, I wish that there were more obvious rules to these things that were kind of established, but Jen bringing up ghosts and like, yeah, they have like a ranking system. There's levels to what people are, not people, ghosts are capable of.
I think I have a better thought. So okay. How am I gonna word this? So the ghost can physically touch the things that they have once been connected with. But if it's something that they don't know, they've never known, they can't touch that. Ooh, I bet that's it.
I'm very okay with that, considering they're in the house and they are, you know, they
like
would
all their like that was in their life. And then like with Sarah, that's the reincarnation of Elizabeth, technically. So that was in their life. So if it was in their mortal life, they can touch it in their death. But if it's something that they've never known, it'll go right through.
Okay. I like this, but I'm going to wreck it here in a second. How do you explain the food? Like, that's
we don't know how old that food is. Oh, no, that could be in the 1800s food.
Possible. It wasn't the chicken. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, ghosts are always a tricky thing as far as rules, right?
Yeah.
I like Jen's explanations though.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'm gonna stick with those. I really do like that whole because it makes sense for like ghosts within a haunted house, even after somebody has come in, like they can still interact with like, you know, cabinet doors and things closing and shutting. It's like, because that's always been there. They have interacted with it before. So there's a memory connected to it or something, right? Like,
yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Well, it's facts.
Yeah.
Just kidding. 100%.
All right. I'm gonna break the haunted mansion for you guys, and I do apologize about this.
Please.
Break it?
It's a nitpick. It's a big one. Sarah believes Gracie's story. Master Gracie's story is this just so stupid, and I'm just like, no one's catching up on this one at all.
What are you talking about?
He straight up says, the whole like great grandfather thing is what was it? So his Master Gracie's great grandfather. I had this. Damn it.
Basically like telling his story as if it was his great
grandma. Yeah.
No, but it was more of like the fact that I forgot what the story was, but the story was somehow told that his great grandfather never got to marry and never had kids. So if that's the case, how the hell are you talking?
Yeah, that is, the family tree is a little off there, huh?
That's so the family tree is a little shaky on that point. Yeah, it just I'm like, how are you believing this, Sarah? How is it even not registering at all?
It's a very fair point.
It's tough, man. You can't say my great grandfather never got married, never had kids, yet here I stand before you. It's like, dude, you're blowing your cover. Like, the minute he says that, it's like, okay, so you were the one that was to be married to the one that's now in that was basically killed. It's a really, really poor cover story.
I just want to clarify that when he's telling her those details, it's just her, right? Like that at that point.
Correct. They're in the ballroom, I think, aren't they? Or the dining room, or
I would think it was probably the ballroom, right? Because she starts running and everything's appearing.
Yeah, it's a really poor backstory. It's terrible.
But she's certainly buying into it for a while, but he keeps going. And I think once he like really changes his tone to like, it's me and you are Elizabeth. Like,
yeah,
she's really, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. That's a tough sell with you bringing it up. I'm with you, but I don't know. I still feel like, Sarah, with like having Elizabeth within her, like there's that part of her that is compelled, that is like.
So wait, you keep saying this.
Yeah.
What do you mean by having a part of Elizabeth in her?
So when for so they're talking to Leota, and Inconceivable asked, like, is it really her? I wish I shouldn't say that. What is his name? Wallace Shawn. I gotta stop doing that to him, but that's just everything I want to go to. He asked her, like, is it her? Is it Elizabeth? And she, without any others, like there's no like hidden meaning to it or anything, she says yes, she is here. She is the reincarnation of Elizabeth, meaning on whatever level, spiritual, however, Sarah and Elizabeth are connected. So, okay, I'm seeing hands shoot up. What do we got?
You want to take it, or you want me?
I just say it. Like, Leona's a kook. Like, I don't think she knows. She just sits there and rhymes. I don't think anything's actually prophesied accurately.
So Madame Leota is our Nick. Perfect.
I think she's a total fraud.
Okay, I'm going to shut it down right here.
Okay.
Elizabeth is there. Yes, she is there. But she is not Sarah is not a reincarnation of Elizabeth. Elizabeth is the floating ball.
But, ball. Okay. Where did the ball come from? Like, was the ball in there the whole time?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's been Elizabeth the whole time. Just this floating ghost ball.
No, but has the floating ball been in the mansion the whole time?
I think so.
Well, how can you prove that?
You can't, but it clearly was always trying to do the right thing. And so like the whole, like, there is no reincarnation. I think Sarah just happens to look very, very similar to Elizabeth, and they got all excited because their dead ghosts have been dead for years, and they're like, we got to get her here. To them they're like, that's got to be Elizabeth. It has to be, right? It's not. Elizabeth is still an entity in the mansion, just that floating ghost ball as described. And then the minute the ghost ball goes into actual physical Sarah's body, that is when we can kind of say there's your reincarnation, because now it's a little bit of Elizabeth, and then Elizabeth says, I'm free, I can make it to heaven now, I'll see you there. And then she leaves Sarah's body, and then Sarah is once again Sarah. That's my argument.
Fair, but why do they need Sarah? That's where the big problem that comes in with that is, if Elizabeth is this spirit, all they need is a body. Then they just someone.
Right.
A vessel.
Yeah, they just need someone. So, but in order for this whole curse to be broken, for this whole thing, it had to be Sarah. So that's where it's like She is the
Is
reincarnation.
it because of how much she looked? I mean, we're talking like a puzzle piece situation here.
Well, see, that's where I would find an extreme problem where it's just like, yeah, we've been waiting around for hundreds of years for a person who looks just like her so that we can possess her and then pass on. Like that, to me, that makes no sense, right? Because if what you need is just a vessel,
right?
Get any woman to show up into this house,
right.
Let Elizabeth come in, and we move on, right? Like that's so. So this is why I say like she is a reincarnation. It's reincarnation does not mean that she is the same person. It means that. So I think of the cycle of life, right? It's like she has died, she has gone through death, and she now has another life. It's not the same person. She's not Elizabeth. She has none of those, arguably, because I brought this up, but she has none of those memories. She has none of that life. So, okay, here's examples of reincarnation within fun pop culture. Phoebe in Friends. She talks about her many lives. She even goes back to like, I remember being a nurse in France and losing her arm, right? Like, I mean,
right.
That's technically an example of reincarnation. Difference being Phoebe remembers her lives, but
sure,
Sarah wouldn't. So yes, I think Sarah is a reincarnation. She needed to be in this house. And when they ask her, like, is it her? Is she here? And she says yes, it's because Sarah is she is the vessel they need. She is that connection to Elizabeth that they need to break the curse. Without Sarah, it wouldn't work. It doesn't work, and they can't move on.
And maybe in Ghost World, like the spirit can only, like the vessel, it couldn't just be a random person. It had to be you.
Yeah. So, well, if we're arguing so many,
it had to be you. Wonderful you. Walking around.
Why is it that Elizabeth is the only one who is trapped in this ghostly ball form while everybody else is trapped there as a physical ghost? Like, what is the difference of the situations?
So
they all die, right?
Yeah.
Like they all die however they die, but their spirits can't pass on because of Elizabeth, because she was murdered. And that's another weird thing of like,
he's waiting. Keep it romantic.
Why? Yes, I do think that is the connection, right? Because like Gracie kills himself because he is heartbroken and he wants to be with her, right? But because her spirit hasn't left, his can't either. And that because they call it an evil curse, and I think it all stems from Ramsley's deceit and murder of Elizabeth, and then it just kind of spirals. But I do think that the only way that this curse is broken is because of Sarah, because she is the physical, simply that, a physical reincarnation of Elizabeth.
The best.
Okay. While we're on the topic of ghost balls,
Yeah.
Who, especially as kids, sees a floating ghost ball and was just like, sweet, following that?
Apparently just Megan, who is the ballsiest kid ever. Michael reacts like a normal freaking person.
Yes. Yes, he does. And then she's like, no, I think it wants us to follow it. And then it just goes to the door and she's like, no, it definitely wants us to follow it. And I'm like, and you're cool with that. You're cool with this glowing entity of white light. I would not.
Well,
I would go opposite.
You guys have heard of Adam and Eve, right? So
Well, I the way I see it is you don't go towards the white light, right? This ball is leading you to your death.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. It's like I'm like, no, I don't trust that.
No, it definitely. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Now I'm thinking.
Worked out this time.
Yeah.
I wish I knew more about wisps. Like you guys have seen. Now I'm blanking. Brave, right?
It's been a minute.
Well, I mean, wisps are essentially like spirits, I guess. Like they're some sort of spiritual thing, but I think in history, like or like a myth or legend or whatever, it's like they can lead you to good things, they can lead you to bad things, but at the same time, it's like, do you really want to risk following a wisp?
Yeah.
Is that's essentially what I would say Elizabeth is like she is a wisp. She is this ball of spirit that is in essence good, but that's like I need a little bit more than just like, hey, there's this glowing ball that's not attacking us, and then it's slowly floating away. I'd be like,
I also love how their first guess is, oh, it must be a floating ghost ball.
Obviously.
Duh.
Well, what else would it be?
I just saw one last week.
I'm telling you, I get zero laughs from my freaking stone cold statue of a wife. And I give like some amazing material, but you need to see it to get it, okay?
All right.
There's these guys.
Skeletons?
You see them?
Yeah.
Okay, we have 5 of them.
Okay.
5. And I was and this is like in the beginning of Halloween, like or actually towards probably the end of September, and I was decorating, and we have these pumpkins that go up our staircase, and at first I just put them one on each pumpkin, and then all of a sudden Luna was like, that looks like fun. And you know, it was just like carnage everywhere, like skeletons here, one's like hanging upside down and all that. So then I gather them up and I go up to Casey and I was like, Case, I have a very serious question. And she's like, what? I'm like, what do we do with the Bone Street Boys? That's what I expect. That's what I expect. What do I get from Casey? Nothing. I'm like, how do you not like this? The joke is amazing. The Bone Street Boys. I don't care who you are, what graveyard you're from, don't care what you did, as long as you bury me. Who you...
I'm a little mad that that's not more of a legit thing of like you literally dancing with those guys and doing the full song that you just did. That was so good. That was so good.
That was so great.
Oh man, all right, I gotta send us live because we're missing gold right now.
The people are missing it. We got it. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it'll be on YouTube for sure.
Matt, did you see my brother took my idea?
Took your idea?
Yes, and he got full-size candy too. Oh my god!
Should we tell her or should we just keep it to us, Matt?
Keep it to ourselves.
Perfect.
Wait, what?
Trick-or-treating this weekend.
Huh?
We went trick-or-treating this weekend and we got full-size candy.
Did you really?
No, really. The honest truth is, Julie ended up getting full-size candy bars for the party, but the party unfortunately didn't really go down as well as they planned. And so she was just like passing out full-size candy bars. So she's like, here, in case you get trick-or-treaters. I'm like, thank you.
Oh, poor Jill. I know how she feels. I know how she feels.
What? So well, first off, welcome back to Good Flickas, home of the Good Flickas. We were talking about Haunted Mansion and full-size candy bars for trick-or-treaters. But Jen, have you had any more?
No, but I'm so happy with those three. They were so excited and so grateful that I opened the door because they said, we've been knocking and nobody. I was like, I got you guys with a small size candy bar. I was so excited. I think I was more excited than they were.
It's tough, you know.
And they're really nice. They were nice kids too, which is good.
Was it just kids? Like, did they have parents or anything with them?
No, just the kids.
Oh wow, okay. Well, good for them. Like, it's got to be tough trying to trick or treat in an apartment complex, but thank God for saints like you, Jen, who not only have candy but have full size candy.
Full size.
Made it worth it. But yes, we are back. We are live and ready to continue and finish up our chat on the Haunted Mansion. Brian, I think you're the only one with notes tonight because, like I said, I didn't write anything down. So I don't have any quotes or anything off the top of my head, and we've been bouncing around like crazy with this movie, which is not a bad thing. It's very typical for us, but I don't know if I have any specific scenes or anything off the top of my head that I'd really like to talk about.
I got one. Oh, well, you just got one.
Sorry, it's a tiny moment, but it's another little moment that always makes me laugh. So the kids are, I think they're in the attic and they're caught by the chauffeur and the cook, I guess. I don't really know what their legitimate positions are.
Changing 1500.
Yeah. From Vegas Vacation.
Oh, I don't remember.
You don't remember him as the blackjack dealer?
Was he the blackjack dealer?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I remember him from so many other things, and like I always make the joke of Inconceivable from Princess Bride, but I do not remember him in Vegas Vacation.
Oh yeah, that's
the
all.
The big one that I remember him in, I don't remember the name of it, but I want to say it's one of those Disney movies, like the wonderful or Disney Channel original movie.
Huh?
But it's he's the real dad.
Just like Dad. That's
the name of it. Okay.
So glad you brought that one up. Yes.
See, not a lot of people know that one, but that was like the he's really good in that one.
Yeah. Just because you brought that one up, like that's a really good movie that's kind of heartwarming and everything, but also really sad when you look at like certain spots. Like
right.
What is that? I don't remember that one.
It's not one that was ever really popular or anything, but premise of the story, a kind of nerdy, dorky kid or whatever hires a guy to be his dad because he's embarrassed of his own father.
Yeah.
And it's really sad because like he does like I think it's like a father-son
relay race or something.
Relay race sports day kind of thing, and they're crushing it. He's having a great time. Meanwhile, the dad that he hires thinks like I can't remember if he tells him like he doesn't have a dad or if it's like his dad is really bad or really mean or something. Like
I don't remember that. Yeah.
For whatever reason, this guy gets sold. And I think another part of it too is like he has kind of a bad relationship with his own son. And it's kind of like an opportunity for him to relive some things and maybe do things better. But it's really sad. He ends up getting caught by his dad, and it's just like it's heartbreaking. But it has a nice ending to it. And he is the dad. I also like to think of him in House Arrest.
Oh, that's right.
I bring this movie up constantly, which also has Jennifer Tilly in it. So he's just great. He shows up in so many things, and he's always phenomenal. Like he's a great actor, great guy. He's like super funny. But I can't believe you brought up Just Like Dad. I didn't think anybody else knew that movie. It's like Paper Brigade.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's one of those where like if you know, you know, but it's likely you don't.
So I just looked up Just Like Dad on Letterboxd. There is, I don't even think it's been rated enough to give it an actual Letterboxd rating. It says it is blank.
Oh man, you could be the first one.
That's so funny. Anyway, his name is Wallace Shawn, by the way.
Yes, yeah. I did say that earlier because when I always feel bad that I bring him up as inconceivable. He's so great. Also, don't get into a battle of wits with a Sicilian when death is on the line.
I always bring up him in Vegas Vacation because the way he does that changing it's 1,500, right? Or
500.
No, I think it's 1,500.
Changing 1,500. Changing 500. I don't know.
I can't remember, but it's just his delivery on that. I'm like, oh man, what an obnoxious son of a bitch of a dealer you are.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I like about him is like he can be really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's so good at being an obnoxious character.
Because what does he say? Like, how about you just give me the money? I take you outside and beat the something out of you or something like that. I forgot. Oh man, he put Chevy through the ringer.
As he should. But anyway, so the scene they're up there with the kids, and I think she's bringing them cookies, and he's like, "You can't give them cookies." Like,
yeah,
he's all worked up and everything, but they get caught by Ramsley. So the kids hide, and then they're up there. But the part that kills me every time is when Ramsley is going to hand the cookie tray back. They take a cookie, like, "Oh, thank you." It's like, oh.
It's not for us.
Like, they go to eat the cookie and they're like, "Oh wait, that's not what he wants. I'll take them." Like it's a funny little like physical joke, and just Terrence is so deadpan the whole time. It kills me every time. And I think it's the cook. She is so funny with like her, just like she's so sweet and cute, and then just like just kind of like defeated by this cookie.
It's a scene, kind of a moment type thing, but I titled it just Walking the Halls. Do you guys know which one this is?
When he's near the photos? When he's near like all the photos?
Well, yes and no. It's when, and this is like major props to the editor because this was not easy. I know it was not easy, but it's like Eddie Murphy's doing his, or Jim's doing his thing, kind of exploring the mansion. He opens up a door, the door opens, and then now it's the kids exploring some of the mansion. They open up a door, and now it's Eddie. I was like, damn, this is good. It's just like, I know it was not easy to do that editing because shooting, that's nothing. We're just gonna have you guys walk down the hallway, look around, look at shit, pretend that you're interested, right? It's the slicing and piecing it together to where open, and it's just like back and forth of like their adventure simultaneously through a mansion I just wanted to bring a spotlight to it because just really job well done.
Yeah, that's something I really liked about this movie. Is it's that editing. There's so many cuts and transitions like that where it's seamless. It's so smooth. But that being said, because they keep using that like that natural wipe of it's, like, okay, I open the door and now you're getting hit with essentially a black frame until it opens all the way and now it's revealing light and a different character. They do that trick so often that there are so many parts of this movie where you're just getting black. for like it just I would argue almost a little bit too long. But the smart thing that they do in a lot of those times, because they do it in, I think it's in the graveyard scene as well, where like they're walking and like it's a natural wipe and then it cuts to something else but they maintain like dialogue that's over those transitions. So the scene continues. It's not like you're getting hit with a black frame and then nothing, like there's nothing happening there. So just like, it's like dead space, dead air. You don't get that. But I do think that they may overuse this editing technique. It's done very well, but they may overdo it. Like it gets to a point where like in this scene, like you're saying how it starts with Jim opening the door and then it cuts. It's the kids now. They do their thing. Then they do it. So it's like that too many of these back and forth things, it becomes too repetitive. And it's like, okay, you're beating a dead horse. There needs like, you need to change up how this transition is happening.
Okay.
But I still really love it. And I still really enjoy it. Like I don't think, like my criticism of it, I don't think that it means that they did a bad job or they actually did do it too much. But I think that it's potential. Like you could be doing this a little too much. It's kind of like,
I could argue that I think your criticism may not hit the majority either.
Exactly.
I don't think that they would notice it because you've done that before, you know. So it's kind of like it's you're very familiar for it in your job, and so you're going to be more prone to notice it a lot more than just your general viewer.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say like they may do it too much.
Right.
It's certainly an opinion thing for sure. Because I don't. It doesn't ruin anything for me. It's just it's something that I've recognized where they're doing it enough where I'm like, it's okay. You're doing that. You're doing that. Like, okay, like, can you do it a different way? Can you change it up a little bit? Can you do something? Because even with like Leota, they do the same thing of going from here's the scene that's happening on the camera, pulling out, and we're watching it through Leota. Like they do that a few times. And like it's not bad, but it just if you do it too much, it begins to feel like a one-trick pony, and it's like you're doing the same thing over and over again, and it doesn't feel as special. It doesn't feel as artistic and creative.
They had that one shot of Madame Leota where Jim is exploring something, and you see him exploring something through Leota. That I used it for the Instagram post. I thought that was a really cool shot where I'm like, oh, that's him exploring, but I'm seeing it through the view of Madame Leota. But the camera's panned out to where it's like not even on top of Madame Leota. You get what I'm saying? It's like a medium shot, or more like a wide medium shot, where you see Madame Leota on the table, but then if you look inside Madame Leota, you see Jim exploring the mansion. And I was like, well, that's just a badass shot right there.
Yeah, see, like that's an example where that shot is done really well. But if you do it too much, because I know they do it where they're spying on Gracie telling Sarah like the story of like on, like they see all of that, and we see it from there, and it pulls out, and it stays on Sarah's reaction. So like as we're in the room with Leota and we're watching as they're watching and seeing them watch, it hangs on Sarah's reaction. And that there's nothing happening there. It's like we got everything. It's like stop showing us her. You made the transition. Cut away. We don't see her sitting there in silence emoting. Like just be away with it, or bring back Leota's face and like just wipe that whole thing. Like it's done. But it's you do it too much. You do things like that too often, and it's not as effective. It's not great. It's just it becomes boring.
Yeah, I get that. All right. I don't know if this head scratcher is actually going to work or not because I might be crossing too many ghost movies in my head at this point.
Okay.
But the whole 999, they needed that one soul, right? So, and this isn't the head scratcher. This is where I'm trying to like preface to this. Or is it see, that's what I think. I think there might be another movie where they've got 999 souls and they need that the thousandth soul makes something happen. But basically, I was gonna ask what happens to this mansion if Jim actually died?
Becomes the 1,000th soul?
Yeah, does that really mess up the plan or anything? Or again, if I'm mixing up one of my ghost movies, then this pretty much all becomes nonchalant and pointless. But I couldn't remember if the 999 to 1,000 soul was important in this one or not.
I don't even remember them bringing up the 999 souls.
Yeah, see, I didn't think they did either.
That being said,
but the new one they do, right?
New one they do.
Yeah, see, this is where I'm like,
sorry, Jen, slight spoilers. 999 souls is important in the reboot. And that's really just because of the ride where it's like this mansion housed 999 souls, but there's always room for
one more, right?
Like that, I think that's kind of just the eeriness of the movie. But this one, I don't remember them bringing up the actual number of souls.
Okay.
That also being said, there is a movie. I think it's I can't remember what it is, but is it House of a Thousand Corpses? No, I don't know. There is at least another movie where there's something like that where there's 999 souls and they need the 1,000th soul to either do some evil act or to allow them to like spread, like leak or something like that. So like that, I think that just whole 999 to 1,000 is like a fun number that works really well, especially since 999 flipped upside down is 666, which is the number. So it's, I think the 999 is just a good number. But yeah, I don't remember the count of souls being any kind of deal because they're all trapped there. They're not really trying to get more. They're trying to get out.
Yeah. Yeah, because the other like trapped ghost movie that I remember, but it wasn't 999, is 13 Ghosts. And that one has two versions, if I remember, an earlier version and then a remade version.
Couldn't tell you.
Wild movie.
Yeah.
Wild movie, that one.
And that doesn't 13 Ghosts. Is that with Matthew Lillard?
I don't remember. I remember it's got like the jackal. I mean, these are aggressive. Some of these ghosts are very, very aggressive.
Yeah. Oh God, what's the fun one with Marty McFly? Help me out here.
The name?
Yeah, I'm blanking on actor's name.
Michael J. Fox?
Michael J. Fox, yes. Frighteners, that's what it is, the Frighteners. I feel like Number might have been part of that one too. Because in Frighteners, he can see ghosts, and there's like this one guy that it seems like he's trying to collect souls. And he's trying to, I think that might be one where there's a number issue with ghosts, and like he's trying to collect them to get to a certain point.
Okay.
Man, I can't remember. But yeah, I don't think it's a big deal in this one. I don't.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I
it's moot.
Yeah.
It's a cow's opinion.
Exactly.
Moo.
Let's see.
I know. I'm trying to think of some other good scenes.
Okay, I got a small little nitpick. See how you guys feel about it.
Okay.
It always bothered me, unless I missed it and I look for it again, that they never show Sarah drinking the poison.
They
But
kind
then
of do
they do?
a little bit, yeah.
When?
Like it just gets to her lips and then Jim comes in.
Oh, okay. So it was like just a small amount.
Very small, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because if you think about it, like it just happens like all of a sudden things went crazy with the fire breathing fire dragon. And then they pan over to Sarah, and Sarah looks like she's in like fucking shock. Like she looks like she's about to code. I'm like, what the hell happened to you? Like, and like it's the poison. I'm like, what poison? Where? When did she do it? So okay. So it's just like a little baby, little touch to the lips. Got it. Some serious poison.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, I don't remember her drinking the poison, but I also remember thinking, why would she drink the poison at this point? It's like everything has happened and now she drunk the poison. It's like, why? Why would
I mean, it truly, like from the start of the fire dragon, things move very quickly when it comes to getting rid of the bad guy, getting Sarah to essentially die, and then getting the freedom of all the ghosts and everything. And then it starts to slow down a little bit, but in blink and you will definitely miss some details, that's for sure.
I cried.
You cried?
When'd you cry?
Yeah. When the ghosts were being free.
You cried?
Yeah.
You cried at all little ghost balls?
Yeah.
All right.
Ending. Okay, I've got a nitpick just because like you were talking about all of this stuff. It got me thinking. And so I pulled the thing back up. My nitpick is when she's being like, I guess like the spirit or whatever has gone into her.
Mm-hmm.
She floats up and she's glowing and everything. I hate it when they do this of the like the crucifixion, like that they do that where they've got their arms out and it's like, why? How does it make any sense for you as a character of like you're floating, your feet are together and your arms are out? And like, why? What's the motivation there? Like your spirit, you're floating, like you could literally be doing anything. And as an actor, like what I know is happening there is like you're either on a wire or you're standing on some sort of platform that's being green screened and they're telling you to stick your arms out. Like it's just everything about it feels really awkward and unusual to me. It like, because like you know what I mean. What is it?
I do like I can't remember the name of it's a certain pose. I don't remember the name of it. Is it just the crucifix pose?
Yeah.
Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I know like I feel like in the 80s people were really big on it. I think the number one example I can think of is Platoon.
Okay, well that's different.
Exactly. And so that's the time that it works.
Well, right? but that's not quite a crucifix pose. Because like he's being shot down and his arms are going out. Like, yes, it is kind of a crucifix pose. But what I mean is like the sustained arms out.
Okay.
Like, I mean, like she's carrying, like she's got the dialogue. I don't know if you guys can hear me on my phone.
Yeah, we can hear you.
But yeah, like her arms are out and she's like, hello, my love. It's so good to see you. Like, why? Why?
Big hug. Big hug.
Well, exactly though. Like, I mean, it to me, it feels like you're handicapping your actor. You're telling them to do this, say these lines with their arms stuck out, versus say your lines like a lover who is now being reunited after centuries of being separated, right? Like, wouldn't that feel more of like a reaching for rather than a crucifix pose? Like it just sorry.
I think that at that point she's like no longer like tiny human self, and she's more like an angel form. So it kind of makes sense where she's not gonna like be as emotional as he is.
She's spreading her wings.
Yeah.
Which, again, with that, to me, it makes more sense to have like the hands down.
Mm.
You know, like she's floating, hands down. Or like, you know, like at a downward angle. That makes more sense to me. This, I don't.
So you just don't like the lat raise.
I don't get it. It doesn't, like, there are times when it makes sense for a character in a moment, but far too often it's like this. Like, she's up there floating and she's looking down. Like I don't know. It feels, I guess, too Jesus-like for no reason. Like, she's not a savior. She's not she's not the son of Christ. You know, she's just a spirit that has now found a body and is floating above everyone, and for some reason has her arms out. I feel like there's a better pose. I feel like there's a better body position for her. And again, because she's floating and she's on some sort of exactly, Jen. Like, I YMCA this bitch. I don't care. But it's like, because she's clearly on some sort of wire or pedestal or something, and her arms are sticking out. Everything about it feels weird. It feels awkward.
She starts hitting warrior pose or something.
That makes sense too. She's defeated the bad guy. Sure, I'm gonna try.
Sorry, Matt. I got nothing to chime in on that one, man. It didn't bother me one bit. That sounds like might be just a you thing, buddy.
I'm fine with that. It's just it's one of those things where I'm like, this is dumb.
I got something. I don't really know where this falls, head scratcher, nitpick. Maybe just a discussion topic. I'm not really sure. But okay. We all know the ride, the Haunted Mansion.
I'm still getting a notification that you added GoodFlickas. Oh, come on, you.
Wow, that's been a while.
On the story.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Okay, there we go. Story.
Nope.
I now got it.
No, blurry. Blurry.
Yeah.
Very blurry.
It's not gonna stick. But yeah, like I'm looking at this.
So I really don't know, like, if this is like more of a discussion topic or what. But anyway, as I was saying, it sounds like all three of us are very familiar with the ride, the Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
And I just wanted to know how you guys felt. They used a line from the ride in the movie. And to me, it almost seems like it was kind of forced or not fully thought out, where I'm like, I mean, did you guys realize, oh, we need to throw this line in and we'll just kind of pencil it in and whenever we can or however we can? Because it kind of was, to me, it felt like that. And it's when he, I forgot his name, but Changing 1500's character says, of course, there's always my way. And so that's the line, right? But then what we're referring, or how they're referring, is just taking a dead horse sleigh thing, and we just burst through the mansion wall. It just all felt so forced to me, and I feel like there's probably a better way they could have incorporated. Of course, there's always my way.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I was alone. Jen, do you even know what What part of the ride? Do you remember what part of the ride? Of course, there always my way was
What?
the actual ride on Disneyland.
Oh no, I don't.
Okay, so to refresh your memory, it'll probably hit you, is you're put in the room. Are these walls actually stretching? And it starts to like mess with your mind. And it says, by the way, there's no windows and no doors and no way out. And then it goes, but of course, there's always my way. And the ceiling turns into lightning, and you see the person hanging on a noose and everything.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right. So I'm like, no doubt you're going to throw that in the movie, The Haunted Mansion. But I just felt this was so forced in. And I'm like, we couldn't have taken maybe 15 more minutes at the drawing board and really make this something that would actually work, as opposed to just this cheesy line drop with even a super cheesy exit scene of the mansion. It really doesn't work, in my opinion. Go ahead, Matt.
So one, just Wallace Shawn's character's name is Ezra.
Thank you.
Yes, just so we know it.
Yeah, Ezra.
I agree with you. Like it's not necessarily a bad delivery or bad timing, but in connection to the ride of like what there's always my way. Like, I mean, like that's an eerie thing. It's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable and creeped out.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying like the only way out of here is to kill yourself.
Exactly.
It's dark. But in this one, like, yes, it feels kind of forced. I think that they could find a better place for it. But to go along with it, the very, very, very beginning of this movie, I feel like it's the same thing. Welcome, foolish mortals. Like it hits you with that, and then nothing.
Right.
It's like you just say this to make that connection, but it has no real connection.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't, like, it's you're making a reference for the sake of doing so without making it mean something. And so yes, I agree. They could have found a better use for "There's Always My Way," or at least led up to something to where like his way would be something like creepy or scary, because like he says, of course, there's always my way, but like that means nothing to us. It's like, who are you? What is your job? What's your business? What would your way be? I have no.
You're the guy that doesn't want to have cookies. I don't want your way.
I have no frame of reference for what your way could possibly be. Mm-hmm. And then we're hit with the bam, we're crashing through the wall on a horse-drawn carriage. Like, I would have no clue that that's how you would go. Also, why do you have a horse-drawn carriage inside of the house?
And why are you crashing through a wall? You're not being chased.
Yes, there's so much of like why this doesn't really make sense. Especially since it's the cemetery. The ghost can go out there. Like, why wouldn't the Evers be able to go out into the cemetery? Especially since freaking Ramsley basically banishes him outside, right? Like it's
like the equivalent of me like full sprint in my living room, jumping, just telling Casey, it's like, I'm going to the grocery store, and I just jumped through my dining room window for some reason.
Well, that was
I'm going my way.
Yeah, so I mean, like it. I even if they kept the line exactly where it is, like there would need to be something that at least sets it up.
Yeah.
Or at least gives us reason to be like excited or worried about his way.
Yeah.
But
it's sad, because that really is one of the cooler parts of the ride too. And it's like, you know, it's got to be there, but all right.
No, I'm with you. Could have been better.
Right. I think I'm really down to quotes, guys. I didn't have a ton to take note on this one.
Well, I mean, an hour and a half movies that like we've hit damn near every scene. And yeah.
We talked about all the scenes that I wrote down, and I'm just trying to think if like I didn't say anything. No, that was pretty much it.
I can't think of anything, but I'm trying to pull up.
I love the fact that they dropped I See Dead People.
Yeah.
That was so good.
So, okay, I gotta look this up. When did The Sixth Sense come out? 1999.
Yeah, I was gonna say right. It's a little past it, but
well, no, because that movie came out. They were making that reference for a decade, and 3 years after this movie came out.
But the way that they used it was just like they actually seen dead people, and it's like, well, what else are we gonna say?
No, I'm with you. Like, it's a good time to drop that line, but
yeah,
at this point, because it's been so overplayed, it doesn't matter when or what kind of context it's in. I get annoyed by it.
Yeah.
it's
still said.
No, it is. It really is. It's definitely one of the most quoted lines.
It is a reference that has been done.
It was so funny. I was listening to a podcast and they were trying to think of the 5 senses, but they were stuck on like, no, we have 6 senses. And so they were like, I just started busting out laughing because they didn't realize like this is like a live conversation.
Oh my God.
They realize it's like it's not 6 senses.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, it was cracking up.
All right. Quotes.
Sorry, I've found a quote that I'm looking through the quotes on IMDb trying to find some stuff, but
okay.
This was just a fun one that I thought was great from Jim.
Go for it.
So Master Gracie goes, "You have very beautiful children, Mrs. Evers," and Jim responds with, "I kicked in some chromosomes too."
Yeah.
He is fishing for something from this guy, but they are giving him nothing.
I forgot where in the movie this is, but I remember it made me laugh, and I was like, "Oh man, you could use that in so many things in real life." I just had myself a little freak show back there.
That was after the floating.
No, that was right before the floating. That's when Jim is heading towards Leota. So he just saw himself in the mirror all.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right. I was just thinking, like, where can you use this line? And some ideas definitely were running through my head. I think one of the best ones that you could do is, especially if you live with someone, the minute you come out, like if you've been in the bathroom for a while, just come out of the bathroom and say, "Sorry, I just had myself a little freak show back there."
Leave them with some worries about what they're about to walk into.
You might want to give it a few minutes.
Oh my God.
Drop that line on Jamie, Matt. See what she does.
Oh God.
It is gross.
No, I'm gonna hit her with the Friday quote of don't wait to go to the bathroom for 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah. Are you doing another one or?
I haven't found one yet, so I'm still snooping around.
All right, I've got one of them is like my all time. I'll save my favorite for last because I only have 2 more. This one's great. This is like a little motivational kind of keep you going here. The only true failure is when you stop trying. Really like that one.
Is that Gracie who says that?
I can't remember who the hell said it.
Huh.
I think it was Sarah.
I think it was Jim to. Was it Jim to his son, or was it Megan to Jim? I don't remember who dropped that line.
It's a good one though.
It's a great one. The only true failure is when you stop trying.
Yeah, I think isn't that at the spider scene?
Oh, Jim to Michael, that could be good.
I don't know. All right, and then I'm going to say this because I don't want Matt to steal mine because this is my favorite. This is just like this is just such a flex of a line. The guy is dead and he's trying to get jiggy with my wife.
That's the line where he finishes it with, "And the house isn't for sale."
What a line for just movie cinema. The guy is dead and he's trying to get jiggy with my wife. Like it.
So good.
Oh man. Anyways, that's all that I wrote down.
So
and sorry, before you go, Matt, I think that's just a thing that I wasn't expecting. It's like, okay, I'm going into an Eddie Murphy movie. I better save at least 10 lines for quotes that I'm gonna be doing. I was like, this just isn't a quotable movie. I mean, there's some quotes, but when you're going into an Eddie Murphy movie, like you just expect to write quotes. Especially 90 minutes, I'm like, oh man, this is all we're gonna do is just talk about quotes. It's not the case.
Yeah. There's not a ton of quotes, but there are some good little one-liners. That's what.
A couple zingers.
Sorry, yeah, I did find. So I had mentioned that Eddie Murphy drops ass. Couldn't remember what it was. I did find the quote. It's when he's walking through the halls, and I think it's right before he gets the big scare in the mirror. But he sees the door that's like pulsating, and he goes, "This must be termites." It starts pulsating bigger. It's big ass termites.
Yeah.
There was another one that the kids had where they were like, "This house smells like grandma's house," and then Michael responds with, "Worse, it smells like grandma."
It smells like grandma. Yeah. Yeah, that one was good too.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else that I'm looking for, so I think that does it, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, successful chat of the Haunted Mansion, but we've reached that time where it's final thoughts on who won the movie.
No.
I'll go ahead just because I don't want to wait. This is a great chat, guys. Like I really, this was a lot of fun. Great Halloween. Thank you guys for this not being a day that we actually get to like kind of just chill and have fun. There's work and things involved. This is a great way to kind of relax and just, I really enjoyed this chat. Fun movie, fun conversation. Thank you guys. Still love this movie. I can't believe that critics and fans were so harsh to it. It does not deserve, it doesn't deserve the hate that it gets. So Eddie Murphy, if you're listening, I love this movie. And if anybody says otherwise about how you performed, I will find them, hunt them down, and threaten to kick them in the nuts unless they're bigger and scarier than me, in which case I will just walk away casually and pretend like I didn't know them. But yes, this is a really fun movie. It's certainly a staple. It's in my house. It's in my library. And I will, when I'm actually good about watching scary movies and spooky movies during Halloween season, I will make sure that this is one of them. So yeah, love it. Continue to love it. Who wins the movie? I'm gonna give a shout out, my runner-ups to the editing, because the cinematography, so like throw director in with this as well. But the cinematography and the art direction, like kind of like what Nick had said earlier, I think it's probably the best part of this, where the scenery looks good, the house looks good, the special effects looks good, like everything that's the hard work that goes into making this movie that doesn't get enough credit and that's visually stunning. They did phenomenal. But for who wins this movie for me, I'm sticking with the man himself, Eddie Murphy, because without him, I don't think this movie is as good as it is. And we've said it before, like we could have used more of him. We probably deserved more of him, but with what we get, he's the reason that this movie is memorable, and the reason why it's now 2023 with two of these movies to compete, that when I say the Haunted Mansion, I refer to it as the Eddie Murphy one.
Mm-hmm.
Any volunteers to go next?
I'll go because I'm falling asleep.
All right.
Fun movie. I'm glad that I've seen it. I didn't talk about it all. I sound drunk. I didn't say this a lot, but I really like the story. I think it's really fun and creative. I think it's love. It's a love story, and this is like love. You know what I mean? Like it's like next level love, and that wins it.
Love wins the movie. I feel like we haven't gotten you saying that love wins the movie in a good while. So
Yeah.
Next level love wins it.
it's on a whole nubba level.
Can you imagine? I hope you guys love Jamie and Casey as much as Gracie loved us, and you wait.
Even more. I would never
When I
let
married her.
I would never let my butler murder her.
And there you
Exactly.
go. Good.
I would murder my butler before that happens.
No, none of that. You see where murder takes you, Matt. So, calm down. Calm down.
This is true, but I have to reach a level to where I actually have a butler. So
Hey, you never know. You never know.
All right. Let's see.
Brian Bond movie.
It was just a lovely talk per usual, guys. Eddie Murphy, he did a good job, and I would have wanted more. Tara Stamp, right?
Terrence Stamp, yeah.
Yeah. Creepy dude, just creepy, and he always is creepy. So good job there too. It's just a fun family movie. Definitely recommend it to anyone that is looking for the October feels of a movie, and it is one that I own, so it's part of the collection and everything. Yeah. Who won the movie? My runner-up is gonna be co-winners of Terrence Stamp and Eddie Murphy. My winner, though, is the mansion itself. It just looks incredible. It looks absolutely incredible. I mean, just the looks and feel of this mansion. It makes me want to just take a visit and have like a creepy night and everything. Like it's so damn good. I'm like, God, they hit everything. It's like even the small details, like the cobwebs that are everywhere, and the moving statues, and how much of the mansion or how much of the ride they incorporated into the mansion, and it's perfect. Without that look and feel, you just eventually I guess without that and without Eddie, you really start to just not take this movie seriously at all. Where it's like, what are we doing here, guys? This just looks like it's paper mache and glue. So anyway, yeah, that's it.
All right. Yeah, yes, we did it. All right, so that wraps it up for the Haunted Mansion. Great chat, and I think we're good. Brian, I think the only thing left is to reveal what next week's pick is going to be. And
yeah,
we're sticking with the theme November, right?
I mean,
November.
So I was a little I got a little thrown off. Like we really went heavy into the Honey I Shrunk the stuff.
I shrunk everything.
Are we doing that this month, or are we saving it?
I'd rather save it.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I was just curious because I'm like, well, technically you only need 3. There's 3 of them, so one of us gets the freebie of that pick. But anyway, all right. So we're saving it. Then we're gonna be doing a big one next week.
Good.
Oh, let's see.
We're gonna be doing a big one, but I don't know what it is.
No, I'm just trying to think of a clue to give you guys, but I don't want to make it too easy.
He's making us watch the Titanic again.
I will with that.
You guys feel like playing on a tower?
Playing on a
Tower
tower.
heist?
What?
Tower heist?
Not tower heist.
Thank you.
Assassins.
Say Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
Good guess. No.
Lord of the Rings, Two Towers.
Oh, that's very good.
No.
Okay.
I feel like playing on a tower. King Kong.
No, but these are wonderful guesses. I didn't realize how you feel like playing on a tower. It really expands out. Well,
Wait, give us another clue.
yippee-ki-yay. I guess I have to give you another clue.
Okay, we're going with Nakatomi Tower or Die Hard.
Die Hard.
What's Die Hard streaming on?
Hulu.
Hulu, okay.
It's early for Christmas movies, bro.
Seriously, we just finished Halloween and you were like, gosh, classic.
I saw it on Hulu,
To do it.
and I had to.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fair. You've been talking
It's
about
Die Hard. What is it?
Die Hard. Nakatomi.
Nakatomi Tower.
Nakatomi Tower.
The movie that has so much influence on so many other movies, and
Is that the first one?
Yes.
Okay.
there'll be a lot to talk about Die Hard. Like a lot probably in the beginning, like not the beginning of the movie, but beginning of our pod. A lot of back history, things like that.
So this was on TV. God, I can't remember. I think I was watching it when I was in San Francisco. So I think this was on TV last week that I watched it.
Oh God.
So it's no. I think it was actually when I was in Wyoming. Either way, it wasn't too long ago that I had watched this movie. So I'm looking forward to watching it from start to finish.
Mhm.
But I'm kind of feeling like I want to be a stinker. So let's see how I feel when I actually watch this. I don't hate this movie, but it might be
It's-
fun to just kind of poke.
This movie is a big movie.
I'm going to see if I can find some holes. I'm going to see if I can find like some.
I know, I will too. Don't worry.
This will be a good one to talk about, though. So I'm looking forward to it.
If anyone shows up barefoot, mad respect.
I'm just going to show it with bloody feet.
There you go.
I'm gonna go that step further.
I
I'm
know
gonna
what
walk
you
on
guys
glass.
are talking
There's
about.
probably a nitpick or a head scratcher at the very least when it comes to the barefoot stuff.
I'm leaving.
You out?
Yeah, night.
Night night. Good night, junkie.
Well, she's fading off. I'm gonna go ahead and do our closeout.
Yeah.
So for the rest of you guys, thank you for sticking with us at the Good Flickas. Tune in next week to listen to us talk about Die Hard. It's sure to be a good chat and have it's going to be a fun one. But if you're on social media, check us out on Instagram at good.flickas. Give us a follow, give us a like. There you can also see some updates about whether our showtime will change. That's going to be your best options as far as keeping up to date with when our live shows are. Check us out on Twitch here live on Mondays, potentially Tuesdays if things switch. Again, go to Instagram for those kind of things. So check us out on Twitch at GoodFlickas and check us out on YouTube at GoodFlickas as well. See some of our old podcasts, see some of our old shows with new ones coming soon. Sorry for any delays, but we thank you for sticking it out and giving us a like, give us a follow, and share us with your friends. Also, if you're feeling up to it, maybe make some little clips out of our things and make fun of us. Who cares? All press is good press, they say. But yes, and if you're wanting to give us a comment, some advice, or just let us know that we're doing a good job, send us an email at goodflickas2020@gmail.com. Otherwise, we'll see you here next week on Monday. And Brian, close us out, my friend.
Yeah. Happy Halloween. Hope you guys had a good one. Hope you had a fun one. 2023 Halloween is in the books.
Your dentist, and I'm sure we're
definitely get your dentist appointments scheduled. Let's see. How about make sure you don't forget your death certificates. Come back.
Hurry back.
Come back. We'll see you next week.